dummy. I'm muted like a dummy. North-South connection. How are you guys doing? Sunday nights, the way they were meant to be, the way the Lord intended. It is pay-per-view night. Some would call it premium live event Sunday. I don't know. I'm still kind of old school about it, but welcome. Whether you're joining us on the North-South Connection Facebook page, whether you're joining us on the North-South Connection YouTube channel, welcome. Give some people plenty of time to jump in case they want to watch along with the NoSo for NXT Vengeance Day, live from Charlotte, North Carolina, I believe. If it's your first time, of course it would be, because this is the first time we're doing these things. I'm Tim from the Viewer's Choice podcast. We used to cover these in great detail, but ever since the black and gold brand turned into a bioluminescent type brand, we've kind of stepped away. So to give you guys an idea on how things are going to run around here, I'll have the audio for the premium live event kind of running in the background, but due to, terms of service and copyright law, can't really show you much, but I'll be joined with other members of the North-South Connection. Primarily, I'll be joined by one member of our Dangerous Alliance, one of the co-hosts of the 7 Months of Danger podcast. Logan Crossland will be with me, as well as a couple other members of the North-South Connection as well, hopefully stopping by and enjoying themselves during the festivities. Very kind of weird to see a premium event this close to the Royal Rumble, but with NXT now kind of being their own thing, it's kind of nice to let the PLEs breathe in between. But it's going to be a fun and exciting time. Showtime doesn't start until 8 p.m., so we have plenty of time to get things up and rolling and started. But Logan will be here closer to showtime, so it'll just be you and I for the foreseeable future. Be sure to tell a friend, get in here, especially if you're watching Vengeance Day alone like me. I think that's one of the beautiful things about the watch party for us this time around is especially with NXT, at least, I don't know if this is an event that I would have watched normally without an audience, so to speak. But definitely going to be enjoying it with the members of the NoSo, the listening audience, as well as some members of the NoSo family. It's going to be fun. So right now, looks like we're getting some backstage stuff showing from the Twitter handle NXT_anonymous. I've seen a couple of these things that have come around in certain lights. I think that this was the Twitter handle that broke the big fight between Grayson Waller and Braun Breaker, which caused Grayson Waller to apologize and whatnot. I'm curious as to if the NXT Anonymous thing, the NXT Anonymous account, is going to be something that's going to eventually turn into something, or if it's just going to be a vehicle to drive storylines, because it feels a little like Scripps in a way, and as Scripps already lost its usefulness, time will tell. Right now we're going over the upcoming Apollo Crews Carmelo Hayes 2 out of 3 falls match here on Takeover, or not Takeover, but NXT Vengeance Day. Let me pull up the card just to make sure that I've got everything right, everything together. But it's a 6-match card, 2 out of 3 falls, Apollo Crews, Carmelo Hayes. It's very interesting to see that Carmelo Hayes has things to do that aren't necessarily revolved around the NXT North American Championship. Good to keep him still relevant and fresh in the multicolored brand, but there's still a lot to discover. So, a lot of matches, a lot of things that are going to take place. Hopefully, especially with NXT, as we've seen in the past, NXT definitely over delivers in regards to in comparison with their television product. I will be completely transparent that I follow the NXT television, but it is not appointment television, much like Raw or SmackDown or even Dynamite in a certain light. But it is definitely worth the watch for the actual live events, the premium live events that take place. I'm gonna turn it up just a little bit so that we can all hear it, or at least have it in the background so you guys know what I'm talking about and when I'm talking about it. As the show goes on, I'll be sure to put a ticker up on the screen to kind of give the visual cue of what match we're going through, what we're covering, in case people jump in the heat of the moment and get things going. So, while we're still getting more of the Apollo Crews, Carmelo Hayes back and forth, it is definitely a good time to promote NorthSouthConnection.com. It is the hub for all things North-South Connection moving forward. Whether it's our audio podcast or video podcasts, it is a place to catch it all. With Grooney joining us in the chat. How you doing, Grooney? Welcome to the first NoSo watch along. It's not going to be just me, I promise. We'll get some more people in here. I think we've got Logan Crossland from 7 Months of Danger coming in after a bit, as well as our man of the streets for all things WWE, the driving force behind Clotheslines and Headlines 2.0, Ryan Gray. I made sure before we started things up, I've got a hot tea right here in a cup that I got from work almost 6 years ago, and I got myself a big water in a purple cup because lots of talking, a lot of things going on. Glad to have you watching along. Glad to have everybody watching along. As mentioned before, due to copyright and things like that, not going to be able to actually show the event as it goes on. But let me know if the background audio is good. I appreciate that. The Titus O'Neil of the NoSo watch party, much appreciated. Let us know if audio needs to be tweaked or anything like that, because I do want to have the actual podcast or the live stream. I'm watching it on Peacock on a separate channel, but I've got the audio routing through so that beneath the conversation that takes place, you can hear at least what's going on between Matt Camp and maybe some people's favorite celebrity involved correspondent for WWE, Sam Roberts. Appreciated. Nice. Yeah, I know that over on Place to Be, they do some of the live streams as well. And definitely over on the NoSo, we took a look. And at least for me, like, especially since NoSo has taken a leap into more video content, whether it be Extreme Three-Way Dance, Who's Gone Video, the Wrestling Warzone going video, WWE War going video, of course, No Holds Barred going video, me being there for the draft episodes that we've been doing. We hope that you all in the NoSo enjoy the content. And with that comes a little bit of the live streaming element too. I know that very early in our video journey, we had a breaking live video talking about it was in the midst of the Vince McMahon return to WWE, like a thief in the night swooping in and, out with the old or out with the new, in with the old, and bringing in the two former EVPs. And it's crazy to see that. I don't know if you all saw, as we get the remaining 2/3 of Toxic Attraction and Roxanne Perez in the hype video leading up to this triple threat match for the NXT Women's Championship. I don't know if you guys saw there was a tweet that was going around. There was Nick Khan on, I believe it was MSNBC or some other news outlet. I'm trying to remember exactly what it was. Let me make sure I'm right in my speaking. But him talking about the upcoming or the future sale of the WWE. So on CNBC, where Nick Khan mentions that the strategic sale of the WWE will be in maybe 3 months. The WCW kid in me is definitely having flashbacks to the build up to WrestleMania 17, and literally like 1 week before WrestleMania, we get the simulcast Raw and Nitro from Daytona Beach, where the name on the contract reads McMahon, but it reads Shane McMahon. It would be wild if, separated 22 years apart, we get another WrestleMania sale of WWE. Kind of crazy to think, but I'm very excited for this triple threat match for the NXT Women's title. I'm also excited about Matt Camp's shoes. Got some nice J's on. That's going to be fun. But I can't stand Sam Roberts. Oh, yuck. Patooey.
The Toxic Attraction can figure out their plan. That's been the question that's been driving me crazy. People are like, oh, well, can they get along with each other? It seems like they're going.
Give myself a little talkie break, a little sippy.
People. You have toxic friends in your life. You just accept them as a toxic person.
Just the perfect amount of honey. Just the perfect amount of honey in the tea. I'm also just silly pumped for WrestleMania. I couldn't be more pumped for WrestleMania. Just already the road to Mania looks pretty crazy, if you ask me. I may have instinctively bought the new Cody Rhodes shirt as soon as it got released on WWE Shop once the roller coaster won the Royal Rumble. You'll be there in LA. Oh. See, I will make my triumphant return back to WrestleMania in WrestleMania 40, because it'll be in my neck of the woods in Philly. I'm not in Philly, but I'm definitely a lot closer to Philly than I am to LA. I haven't been to Mania since WrestleMania 29, which I'm quite sad about that I missed. I stupidly missed Kofi Mania, which was also in MetLife Stadium, but I'm very excited for WrestleMania 40 in Philly. as we get Wesley, North American champion, getting ready. Oh,
All right.
either his mama or his lady told him he needs to bring the title back. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, WrestleMania is going to be awesome with, especially that even though we have kind of certain things outlined already. I mean, obviously, we've got Rhea Ripley and we've got Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's title, and we've got possibly Cody and Roman Reigns for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. We've got Elimination Chamber in between in Montreal, and of course, thanks to SmackDown's latest and greatest, Sami Zayn looks to challenge Roman for the titles, and we don't know exactly what that may cause in repercussion once we get towards the Pape. You know, WWE's had their chance, their opportunities. Oh, there's that word again. They've had their chances to stray away from the plan that was written at the Royal Rumble. I mean, look at WrestleMania 30, look at WrestleMania 31, look at WrestleMania 34. I think it was 34. Was it 36? It must have been. I think it might have been 36 with Edge, Roman. No, wait. We're at 39. 38 was Brock Roman. 37? 37. Because 36 was the biggest fan WrestleMania. So 37, they injected Daniel Bryan as well. Tim, does Braun come up to the main roster this time around? That's actually I'm actually prognosticating that Grayson Waller wins the NXT title here in the ladder match main event. I would be more shocked if Braun retained here and went on into next Tuesday as the NXT champion than I would be if Grayson Waller were to win. I'm pretty high on Grayson Waller. I like him. He feels like a very touched up modern version of the Miz in a way. So with that, it's definitely I'm curious to see how Grayson Waller will grow. But Braun almost feels like he felt like he was ready to go in the main roster almost immediately. NXT every so often gets these guys who come into NXT who don't feel like NXT guys. I come to think of Karrion Kross when he was there, Damian Priest when he was there, Apollo Crews even to a certain extent, Elias, these NXT guys who are here for a short time to kind of season themselves up, and then eventually, once they go to the main roster, they're absolutely ready. I think Braun, when he makes that leap to the WWE main roster, whether it's on Raw or on SmackDown, I think that's going to be very telling. And what a better place to do it than at WrestleMania, especially since there's so many things up in the air in question about what could happen 2 nights in Los Angeles, SoFi Stadium. Very, very interesting to say the least. Everybody get on DraftKings. Use code NXT, I guess. I don't know how I feel about gambling with wrestling. I kind of dabble already with I don't know, like real sport, or not real sport, but like fake fighting, real fake fighting, with football and in some basketball, but doing DraftKings, man, I don't know. I don't know if I could do it. We got Fallon Henley and Kiana James with that is a nice curly mullet right there by Briggs and that's Jensen, right? Jensen's with the mullet and Briggs is the beard. Yeah.
We got it. Right, Fallon? We got it.
This is going to be interesting too. I don't know if Katana and Caden are ready to drop those titles, but again with NXT, especially this close to WrestleMania season, this kind of feels like a place where things for NXT or things for the WWE main roster can kind of be resolved a little bit, moving up. And if they need something for those women's tag titles, having Katana and Kaden there is definitely a little better. We got the New Day on. I gotta crank this up just a little bit for the New Day.
Go check it out. Also, y'all locked these championships up down in Orlando. They couldn't see anything. We came and rescued them. We took them all over the world. First place we went to was sunny Australia.
Down under, mate.
Then we went to sunny Los Angeles.
Los Angeles.
Then we went to kind of cold Atlanta.
ATL, shout
And tonight we are
Kind of
at
cold Atlanta.
Vengeance Day.
Yeah, we at Vengeance Day with some stiff competition. Tonight we got to take on the longest reigning NXT UK Tag Team Champions of all time in Gallus. We got to take on...
Trent asks, I haven't watched NXT since last summer. How are Caden and Casey doing as champs? Big fan of both before I stopped watching. As far as like their reign has been, I mean, they did the unthinkable and kind of knocked off Toxic Attraction. But the NXT women's division kind of feels very much like the WWE women's tag team division in a sense. It's not very deep. They've kind of been stuck between working Toxic Attraction, working there was this short-lived team with Zoe Stark and Nikita Lyons. There was the random pairing they faced off at Worlds Collide with Nikki Cross and then Dewdrop. And I'm trying to think who else they faced. They faced the Ivy Nile, and who's Ivy Niles running around, buddy, with NXT? I forget. Ooh, Chase U. I love me some Chase U.
A place where I grew up watching so many great moments. And tomorrow night, we get the opportunity to have our moment. Because it's like North Carolina legend Michael Jordan said, heart is what separates the good from the great. And I know some people are looking at us like
the former Bravado brother, now head of Chase U. Not sure if I'm a fan of Duke Hudson now being with Chase U, but Caden and Casey or Katana, they're solid tag team champs. I think them working together or them putting together this run in NXT is definitely going to translate well to the main roster, even if for the short term. It feels like WWE always needs women's tag teams come WrestleMania season, because they always, at least in most recent years, hasn't it been like a multi-team match for the women's tag titles? Like, even if you go back to like the very first time that title was defended, it was in a 4-way, or it was Boston Hug, it was the Iconics, it was Beth Phoenix and Natalia, and it was Tamina and someone. Gosh, that was WrestleMania 34, right? WrestleMania 34. Yeah, let me see if I remember that right. Did I remember it right? I guess it wasn't 34. It was 35. My years all run together. Iconics, Boston Hug, Nia Jax and Tamina, Beth Phoenix and Natalya. So first time the titles are defended, multi-person match. Then we have the pandemic WrestleMania. And I feel like that it was Asuka and Kairi Sane against Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. But I think the reason why that wasn't a multi-person time was because of the pandemic and there being limitations on numbers of wrestlers in and around the ringside. Because that was also the year that we had the really weird tag team ladder match to get there. WrestleMania 37, we had a one-on-one tag team title match, but before we had a tag team turmoil the night before. So we had our multi-team match there, but still a lot to be desired. And I can't even remember much anything from 38. There was no tag title defense because, or was there? No. Yeah, there was no tag title defense in 38 because we were still in the midst of the aftershock of. Oh, there was. Never mind. Sasha and Naomi were there at WrestleMania, which is good. But it was another multi-person. It was Sasha, Naomi. It was Carmella and Queen Zelina, Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley, and Natalya and Shayna Baszler. Can you name 3 other teams to face Damage Control at WrestleMania to face for the title? I don't think you can without including an NXT team. And that would be, at least for me, there's 2 options. It's either Chance and Carter, or it's Dolan and JC James. If they ever split up Katana and Casey, or if they ever split them up, Katana could be like a women's division Rey Mysterio. Yeah, I can absolutely see that. Especially she's very much an underdog, to say the least. I know I've seen her in a couple of NXT house shows, and it is definitely interesting. Ronda Shayna versus Damage Control in regular tag. I haven't seen that, but that would be interesting. I'd be here for it. Looks like we got somebody else with us now.
Hello.
Howdy.
You doing all right?
How we doing?
Doing good. You doing all right?
Good. It is the one member of the NoSo's Dangerous Alliance.
Oh yes.
It is. Oh yes.
Very dangerous.
Logan.
We are.
I know. One of the co-hosts of 7 Months of Danger, the lovable short run series we're doing. Logan Crossland. Logan, man, I think this is the first time we've ever been like actually together on a pod.
I think so.
How you doing?
You're right. I'm doing great. I'm glad to be here. Looking forward to watching the show. Been looking forward to this one for a while. So
now, do you keep up with NXT 2.0? Well, it's not 2.0 anymore, but
yeah.
Do you keep up with it much?
Yeah. We actually do a pod on the wrestling feed. Me and Andy Etherton do. We watch it weekly and kind of go through the results and all that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Ooh.
So I watch it religiously for some reason, I guess.
Hey, I wish that it was it's not quite as what it used to be, but I think there's still, I was saying it before during the pre-show, at least the premium live event side, these still kind of live up to maybe they outkick the coverage of normal television and you get shades of former glory in these former takeovers, now whatever you call premium live events, specialty branded shows.
Yeah, never know what to call them. So, but yeah, I think you're right. I think they're getting a little bit more of a handle on the TV, but I do think it took them a while to kind of reach that level again. But yeah, like you said, the premium live events usually deliver. So I think they know that they have a lot on the line, and that they have a lot to prove. These younger guys that are trying to prove themselves. So I think they kind of go all out on these things.
Absolutely. Is there a match tonight, as we've got Charlotte Flair doing nice little intros of all these matches on the start of the PLE? Is there a match you're most looking forward to tonight on Vengeance Day?
Yeah, the cage match for sure. I'm looking forward to. I'm hoping Waller takes the belt. So
I just mentioned that too. I think it's Waller's time. If you're joining us in the chat, whether you're joining us on Facebook or YouTube, let us know in the comments. We'll pop it up on the screen of the match you guys are most looking forward to as well. We'd love to keep interacting and making it all a family affair here for the NoSo watch party. So I'm pretty high on Grayson Waller. I really enjoy him, and I would absolutely love to see him win the title, if for no other reason than to see Braun move up to the main roster.
Yeah, that's really my thought process at this point. It's got to be Carmelo or Grayson, because I think they're the two stars. I think they're the two definite layup guys that are going to be on the main roster one day, killing it on pay-per-views and TV and all that kind of stuff. So I definitely think it's got to be one of those two guys, and it's got to be either here or at Stand and Deliver. So, but I think that's the direction they've pretty much got to go, because Braun needs to be on the main roster. He's kind of, I don't want to say he's spinning his wheels, but he's just, he's been champion for a while, and he probably deserves to be on the main roster.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think he has done all he can do, because especially the meteoric rise of Braun Breaker. What else would there be for him after losing the NXT title?
Yeah, exactly.
He's been to the top of the mountain. It doesn't make sense for him to stick around just to win the North American title, or even to be there to kind of even do honors for new guys coming up. Just once he loses the title, maybe you do a return match for the title, have him get his rematch back, and then lose again, and then go off. Grooney's looking forward to Braun and Grayson the most. Trent thinks that Carmelo and Apollo in the 2 out of 3 falls can steal the show, and he goes one step further as to say he thinks that Carmelo is the one who could beat Braun at TakeOver on Mania weekend for Stand and Deliver.
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
Yeah, I think it has to be why Carmelo Hayes hasn't been champion yet has kind of baffled me. I don't know. I'm curious if they can. I'm curious if they can heat up Carmelo enough to make him NXT champion again. I feel like he's kind of already hit his height of powers from the NXT North American title runs. Not to say that he's not great. I love Carmelo Hayes. But it looks like we are starting off with the NXT North American Championship.
Mr. Wesley taking on Mr. Dijak. What do you think about Dijak being back down in NXT?
I think there's a place for Dijak. I didn't necessarily care for. Well, let me rephrase that. I would have cared for Retribution as much as the WWE cared about Retribution.
Yeah.
And once they decided they didn't care, I then knew I didn't need to care. So
that's true.
So we had that. I'm cool with Dijak being back. I like this new look of him being like channeling his inner Big Bubba with the glasses.
Yeah.
I've always found him to be super entertaining in the ring. But he's
Really
one of those
agile,
guys
yeah.
too, at least in NXT, he's a guy who has always just been North American title level
Yeah.
and never really moved upwards. And I've
Mhm.
also never seen Dijak as a guy who would be in NXT long.
Mhm.
He's one of those guys where you bring him into NXT and he's there for long enough to, like, not to use the phrase WWE style, but like
Mhm.
get him accustomed to WWE, the way things are. And then like a Damian Priest, like a Elias,
Mhm.
there for a short time, get your wings under you and then fly away. I'm not sure if Dijak is an NXT guy long term,
Mhm.
but definitely for this rehabilitation project, I'm here for it. What do you think about Dijak?
No, I like him. I thought he had a lot of potential from his NXT run at the beginning, but obviously he got trapped in Retribution and got trapped in the T-bar gimmick for a while. I think he had good matches on like main event and stuff like that with Ali and kind of guys, on those lower tier shows, if you want to call them that. But so I think he's good in the ring. I think he's a real agile big man, like I said. But I just don't think he's gotten his due maybe yet. But I think this is good for him to kind of go back and, hang out with these maybe a little younger guys and give him a little bit of he's a veteran at this point, I guess I'd say, and give them a little bit of help down there. But I think it's good to build him back up as well.
Yeah, he's one of those talents in the ring where he's too big to be like all with the athletic wrestlers, but he's too athletic to be with all the big wrestlers. So he has this weird point where unless he's wrestling a Keith Lee or another freak athlete, the sizzle of Dijak kind of goes away. Trent mentions the same thing too. I think Keith Lee not being down there, the best that could happen for Dijak is he's always seemed to be in Keith Lee's shadow. I think they're going to be until now. I think they were tied together. They were.
Yeah, that's true.
You couldn't think one without the other, and that's kind of where we are now. And Dijak has the ability now, in the new NXT to figure his own way, and even on this other side of the ball too, with Wes Lee, he's still not as much as before, but he's still trying to put it all together post MSK, right? Like it's been a long time since MSK was a thing. But there's a lot of people who still kind of view him as being that tag team guy. And he's been North American champion since, did he win it at Stand and Deliver last year?
No, I think he wanted it like Halloween Havoc, if I remember correctly.
Because there was a ladder match for the title.
He won there was a ladder match at Stand and Deliver, and Cameron Grimes won that one. And then Carmelo beat him back for it, and then Solo beat Carmelo, and
that's right. And then Solo had to relinquish the title, and then there was another ladder match.
That's right. Yeah,
because
they have a type.
The NXT North American Championship is just always going to be connected to a ladder match, which is not bad. Like
they're usually pretty good. So
yeah, they usually over deliver as Dijak hits that Valley Driver on the floor, rolling in Wesley, getting a 2. But it's just it's good to see these guys back together, or being able to showcase their own stuff in the ring with their own new motivations. Do you foresee Dijak being around on the main NXT roster for long this time around?
I think he may hang around for about maybe a year.
Okay.
I think he honestly may win the belt here, if I'm being
Okay.
honest. So I think he may win here, hold this for a good bit, and maybe challenge whoever the NXT champion is a couple months down the line, but maybe a year or so.
Right. Do you feel like and not to kind of put the cart before the horse with what we've got going on now, but do you foresee a lot of shakeups tonight in lieu of what we have to come at WrestleMania?
Not too crazy. I don't think. I think Braun's definitely headed for the main roster after Mania. I think, like I said, I think he probably either loses tonight or at Stand and Deliver. But I think a few of the women could probably get pushed up. Like maybe if the Toxic Attraction girls lose tonight, maybe they could go up and maybe they could get a new leader since Mandy's not around anymore. Maybe they could pair them with somebody else on the main roster. And then like Alba Fire's been down there for a while. I think I could see her going up.
Yeah,
just
I
because
think
she's
so too.
a veteran, she could be useful on the SmackDown roster for sure. So.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, they're kind of a Toxic Attraction already has like a person down there that they could saddle up with. I mean, Sonya Deville has she was up in NXT for a cup of coffee while Mandy Rose was away for a spell, and then it kind of makes sense for it could make sense for JC and Gigi to link back up with Sonya for a spell, especially since Sonya keeps getting herself into fights she can't win.
Yeah, that's true. I think Cole even delivered a Fire and Desire line on SmackDown last night, so maybe that was a wink, wink.
That's how things go.
So, but yeah. Sonya needs to stop getting herself in fights with the big girls that she can't win.
I know it's kind of sad, but you gotta. She's got to do what she can. I mean, I think that she's too talented. She's too talented to not be involved. And I loved when they found a way to make her a part of the presentation when she was Adam Pearce's like not assistant, but like co-GM ish, co-authority figure, or the authority figure of the women's division. But,
I always thought of it. She kind of was over SmackDown, and Pierce was over Raw. I mean, Pierce was over both, but Sonya was on SmackDown more than she was, more than Pierce was, at least.
For sure. Dijak right now in almost firm control until just now. The momentum swings, and Dijak up over the top, down to the floor. At least on my feed. I'm not sure how you guys are watching along at home on the Peacock Network, or if you guys are on Peacock Network. What are you talking about? Whether you're on Peacock or if you're overseas watching on the traditional WWE Network. Oh.
I'm glad Marcus is here. I'm wearing my Heartbreak Kid hat.
Nice.
Got it at the Rumble.
Okay. How was the Rumble for you guys there live?
I thought it was great live. The Hardy concert was probably the worst part for sure. So, but I actually watched it back, and it was worse on TV. Actually, so I'll say
it was pretty bad on TV.
It was better in the arena. Yeah,
for sure.
The bad spot. Yeah, that's what I said to everybody. I was like, they put him in an absolute death slot. You got to do that at the beginning of the show, or not at all. I mean, you can't do it in between or after you've already sat there through 2 whole Rumbles, and then you're just wanting to get to the title match at that point with all that storyline that was going on. So yeah, that spot for sure. Right. But I enjoyed the show overall. It was really good.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like something that was super enjoyable for the live crowd. I think there was certain parts that might have got lost in translation between the live crowd or watching it live and watching it at home. Especially at least for me in the men's Rumble. seemed a bit anticlimactic on television. But nonetheless, I still, I bought in.
Yeah, you still got the nightmare on.
I'm full of the nightmare narcotic, Logan. It is all in for me.
Beautiful.
I'm dyed in the wool Cody. So, but it's also crazy because I don't want Roman to lose at all.
Yeah.
I want him to just hold these titles forever. The athleticism of Wesley on display. Jeez. Mm-hmm. Is there anything you can't do? Do you need to go? Do you need to leave the office, Pepper? Huh? I have my little dog in here. Do you need to go see Mama? She'd followed me in here like a sweet little thing, and she had her nice little nap, and then I think she came in here because she thought there was food in here. What do I look like, a fat guy with treats at his desk?
Ooh.
Poison Rana stacked him up on his neck.
Dropped him on a stack of dimes.
What? Oh. Modified key crusher. Right in the middle. Ooh.
Oh, that was close.
Big kick out by Dijak.
Mm-hmm. It's good seeing them in front of a live crowd, too. They deserve, all these guys deserve to be in front of a big crowd like this.
I think so, too. I think that for TV, it does make sense that they're still kind of in the Capitol Wrestling Center.
Mm-hmm.
But at least for these big takeover style events, there'll always be takeovers to us. But
yeah.
for these big events, like the NXT brand, maybe they don't sell out a venue that's like a Raw sized venue or even like a WWE pay-per-view. But if these events are taking place, this is clothesline stopped by a super kick.
Uh-oh. Oh, there we go.
Up.
Had a little slippage.
Ooh, is that it?
Maybe 1, 2.
No. Almost. But I think that there's a little bit there for NXT to fill in on venues that are maybe Dynamite sized.
Yeah.
Maybe in between like a normal Dynamite sized arena and a Raw venue. Because where are they at in Charlotte right now?
It has, I know it says 5,000 seats, or they made 5,000 seats available, and they had sold pretty much everything but like 200 or 300, I think. So they probably, either
they're in the
gave those away or
Center.
Cheaper. Okay.
Yeah, the former home of the Charlotte Bobcats. That's a 20-seater or 20,000 seat arena that they're in right now.
Okay.
So, but of course, I would expect that with. You kind of need a big enough venue that can house the WWE production plus the processing power to send out the premium live event.
Gotcha. I thought that was it. I thought he tapped him out on the chicken wing.
Right. Doing Bob Backlund proud with the crossface chicken wing.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, there was a great crowd for the Mania one last year. Stand and Deliver. This might be it. Oh, no.
Feast your eyes counter.
No.
We're hooked now. We're getting into finishing sequences. Flipping out. Basement. Oh, man. But Stand and Deliver WrestleMania weekend was pretty sweet.
Yeah. I mean, we had a fun time. We actually had a suite at that show, so we had some food and we all had a good time. But the show was good. I mean, they had the ladder match like we talked about. That was really good.
Right.
Breaker Breaker and Ziggler main evented that one, and Ziggler's no, that boot
crushing each other right now. They are not hesitating, and they're pulling out all the heavy lumber.
Mm-hmm.
Leave some for the rest of everybody.
Yeah, for real.
Big man super kick. Oh
my God. these two are a really good style matchup because Wes can sell like hell for him, and everything
Yeah.
he does is so powerful.
And Dijak can play into Wes's like speed,
Yeah.
that being that hybrid style wrestler that Dijak is, it fits well.
Yeah, I think it took Wes a while after Nash got released to kind of
Right.
get himself acclimated. But I think he's done good the last month or so and gotten pretty good on the mic and has done some good. He's obviously good in the ring. He's always been good in the ring, but I think he's
the
definitely gotten a
in-ring,
little more confident.
Yeah, the in-ring has never been Wes's problem. It's kind of been able to put it together as a singles act in like the WWE environment where like talking is rather important. What are we setting up here for?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe just a big power bomb.
Oh!
Oh! I think that exactly went how they wanted it to, but it still looked brutal.
Wes going up to the top. Good camera angle.
Ooh, there we go.
Ooh!
Ooh, I thought that was it. Hit him with the spiral tap.
Oh my gosh. See, we're already starting Vengeance Day off with a bang. North American title.
Mm-hmm.
Very nasty counter off that power bomb off the second.
It's been a while since I've seen a spiral tap. The old
know.
AJ Styles finisher.
Oh yeah. AJ used to not get the distance on it like Wes just did.
Oh yeah, definitely not. Yeah, he had him right up next to the. Ooh, that didn't feel good.
Olay job, send him right into the barricade.
Mm-hmm.
What are we going for now? Wheelie chair.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that one don't fold, Dijak. What are we doing?
He's gonna Kofi Kingston him like the Royal Rumble last week.
I know. I feel so bad for Kofi, man, because now he's got to stop. But now who's gonna do it? Like, I guess it falls to Ricochet now. But oh no, is he gonna imprison him in the chair?
Looks like it. That's a nasty ass looking broom.
Yeah, it is. That is a ring used broom.
Mm-hmm. That's like one Terry Funk used 20 years ago or something. It's held on by duct tape and stuff.
Oh yeah, just spite and duct tape. That's all that's left on that.
Yeah.
Some Southern mamas using that as a beating stick for their kid.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Dijak good, gonna fly. What?
Oh my God! It's Stax and Tony D'Angelo. They saved Wes.
Some continuation of the story.
Mm-hmm. So D'Angelo got a title shot a few weeks ago on TV, and Dijak brought his little helper out there, Stax, to distract him, and so Wes got the win over D'Angelo. So this kind of a three-way thing that they've been doing lately, and that might be it with the kick. 1, 2,
Sick.
he got it
right on top of the head.
Mm-hmm. Wesley with the retention. Didn't see that one coming. Now I feel even more confident that Grayson's going to take the main event.
Right. Like the incumbents are still here.
Mm-hmm.
But starting off real strong, 1-0, I think in solid matches so far. We're doing it well. Sure. Grooney mentioning that the broom got over. Absolutely did.
The Southern Mama broom.
Yes. Don't make me tell you again now.
It may be broken, but I can stick it back together with duct tape and still go to bed.
When you're done, sweep out the kitchen. But it was very interesting to see D'Angelo and Stax come out.
Mm-hmm. They've been Stax has been implying he kind of got a promotion within the family. So they've been kind of implying that they may be boosting their numbers coming up soon. So we'll see how that works out. Because they lost 2 Dimes. I forget what happened with him. Do you remember? He did something on social media, I feel like.
2 Dimes got released. He was like a random. He was a part of the NXT releases with Parker Boudreaux.
Oh, okay.
Right, Harland. And
then, didn't he do something though? Didn't he post something controversial or something like that?
He might have. But then 2 Dimes was on NXT or not NXT, AEW. Like the week he was available or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's in like the firm or whatever they're called. I think he's like one of their like underlings or whatever.
Where's my boy AJ Galante?
He's in some group. Yeah. Oh, that was the guy that came out with D'Angelo at the Dallas Takeover.
There we go.
He went to the same high school as Greeny did, apparently. So
okay.
So
got a Cora Jade promo. I still have no idea what to think of Cora Jade.
Yeah. It seemed like they were setting her up to be kind of the heel top person when Mandy eventually lost the belt. Right. She's been losing a lot lately, so I don't really know. They're kind of going in a different direction than I thought they might have gone. So
yeah, I didn't really care for her when she was a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really care for her now she's a bad guy. So I think I just don't care about her. Like I think that's what it boils down to. Like,
yeah,
I am the problem. I understand that it is me that is the problem. I need to figure something out, or maybe she does. I don't know, but
she just needs to be booked better. I think she's got something, but I think she might just need a little bit better booking going forward. But who knows?
Grooney out here preaching the truth about Mountain Dew Pitch Black. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I had never had a Pitch Black until WrestleMania week or until the Royal Rumble. Mm-hmm. And me and Marcus from Viewer's Choice, I got a 6-pack of bottles for us. And I knew Marcus was going to just absolutely love Pitch Black. It is the Marcusest flavor in the history of flavors for him. And I was definitely on the fence. We crushed 6 bottles.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, I know. I can't run my body like that anymore. I got to fuel myself a little bit better. I can't run on Mountain Dew.
It could be a struggle the next day.
I gotta mix it with water. I gotta cut it with something. It's a lot. So
just get the little bottles.
Yeah. Or they actually, I saw that they made 0 sugar. Pitch Black. Right. And then I think they also made, this is scary to even think, they made a Mountain Dew Pitch Black energy drink.
God.
Just in case you hated yourself, we have found a way to hate yourself even more. Energy drink.
That'll do it.
That'll do it. But man, I love me a 7-Eleven.
Yeah, we don't have those down here, so
7-Eleven is the king.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think I've ever been to one because we don't have those down where I live. So,
where are you at?
I'm in Mississippi.
Okay. Yeah. So what's y'all's big convenience store?
We have like Love's, Truck Stops. So
yep,
that's the big one that we have more around me. So
yeah, Love's makes sense.
Yeah, that's the big one.
Yeah. See, around me, I'm in Maryland, but I'm like an hour between Baltimore and Philly.
Okay.
So I'm in like a sweet spot. So we've got Wawa's, 7-Eleven, we've got Royal Farms, and then if I go more into the Pennsylvania side, I get Sheets, which Sheets is so good.
Sheets is the king.
Sheets is pretty nice, especially late night. Like you need something made to order. That's it. Grooney's asking if anybody's got any spare kidneys, and Shiflet checking in. # Waller effect.
He's
That's
the number
right,
one
man.
Grayson Waller fan.
Look, we are a Grayson Waller house tonight. Like, I'm ready for Grayson Waller to become NXT champion. I saw on the bump that Waller cut like a promo against the Miz. They were both on, or him and Cody. And in my head, I'm just like, do it.
No,
don't give it.
Please.
Don't talk about it. Don't talk.
Yeah.
Do it. I want it.
And Waller's in one of those weird areas too. If he didn't win the belt tonight, I could probably see him go to the main roster because I think he's ready. Because if you notice on TV, anytime they bring a main roster person down, they always pair him with Waller, it seems like. Or, most of the time, because like AJ went down, he had a match with him. Truth got hurt when he faced him, but they put him with him. So, I mean, they obviously trust the guy. So. Got our women's tag team title match next. Wacky duo of Kiana James and Fallon Henley here.
What do you think about Kiana and Fallon as a team?
I don't know if it's long for this world, so it's definitely a playoff of Brooks Jensen over there. The guy on the right is in love with Kiana, so Fallon's just playing nice because she's kind of their manager, best friend kind of person. So
makes sense.
I think just kind of push their storyline forward. Maybe they win tonight and kind of do the wacky tag team that ends up being friends or something like that. So thank you, Chad. I wore the hat just for you.
Oh, look at the TikTok twins coming from the crowd.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's something to like, and I like these two, but they're very NXT. Like, I don't know that they work on the main roster, so I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I don't think they get treated well. At least, I guess I'll say that.
I think there's a place for them on the main roster at first, because, like I kind of talked about it in the pre-show. We're coming up on WrestleMania season, and you know what that means. A multi-team women's title match. It's going to happen. And I can't think of the number of women's tag teams on the main roster that you wouldn't just put together as a mismatch.
Yeah.
So to me, it's either Chance and Carter or it's the Toxic Attraction girls. Those are the two I think that would make the leap up to where we're at.
Yeah, I think the Toxic girls are probably a little probably better fit for that scenario, but I think they probably have a place, but I just feel like they're probably going to be the team that every like thrown together team beats on the way up, so they're too small, pal.
Oh yeah. Well, right on time with women's wrestling on NXT TakeOver. Boys, assume a position. Jenny's here. How you doing, Jenny?
Thank you. I'm good. I'm here. Sorry I'm late. I didn't
You're all
know whether
right.
I'd
You're
be
right
able
on
to make it
time.
or not. How's it been so far?
It's been really good. Dijak and Wesley had a banger to start. Wesley retained the NXT North American Championship. We've had some nice interactions from our lovely audience. You got a friend?
We got Grooney. Hey, Grooney.
Grooney saying what up?
My boy.
But yeah, you just getting in right at the start of the NXT Women's Tag Title match. We were just talking about before you got here whether or not Chance and Carter seem like a team that could make waves or be long for a main roster push. or even like a main roster stay. And I think that if they do get called up, I think it's only a matter of time. And I hate to say it, but for Katana to split from Caden, because I think there's more marketability in the former Casey Canizaro as a underdog aerialist on the main roster as opposed to being in a tag team.
Stuck in a tag team. Yeah, I would agree with that. I was what was it called? American Ninja Warrior.
Yeah.
I was a fan of that when she was on it. Her little boyfriend, what was his name? I forget. But anyway,
Ricochet.
No, it was before him. The American Ninja Warrior boyfriend.
I only know the one that she was with in
Yeah.
WWE.
I forget his name, but anyway,
She also dated a male ninja.
yeah, I believe so. I believe that's
Okay.
accurate from what I
That makes
recall.
sense.
But she's impressive, but
Vertically
yeah,
challenged.
well, does she talk much on NXT?
Not a ton.
No.
I mean, they have little backstage segments with kind of whoever the flavor of the month that they're facing is, because they're pretty much the only team other than the Toxic Girls.
Yeah.
So whoever they end up facing, they kind of have a backstage promo with. She's not a bad talker, but
From what I remember, she has like an annoying voice and
a little,
a
yeah,
little bit annoying. She's a mouthpiece if she goes to the main roster by herself or something. I don't know. Then again, maybe the tag team is the best spot for her. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
right. It definitely is. I know. I saw. Here we go. Trent coming in with the hot knowledge. Brent Stephenson.
That's right. I remember.
From Ninja Warrior. Trent coming in with the good knowledge. 1 point to Gryffindor or whatever house.
There you go.
If you don't claim a house, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. We
and Jenny
went there
has
a
the
whole
platform 9
days.
3/4 glass there to even take
I
it
sure
home.
do.
So.
Props.
I have my wand over here.
I have a wand in somewhere.
Beliamus.
Leviosa, or no, I did it wrong. Did you guys get? Are we all kind of Potter adjacent?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I would say so.
What house?
Well,
there's no wrong answer.
There's really not. But if I had any ambition, I'd be a Slytherin. But
okay, so you're a Ravenclaw.
If I was smart, I'd be a Ravenclaw.
Any of those quizzes I've ever
I'm a
done,
lazy Slytherin.
Any of those little quizzes you could do on Facebook and stuff like that's always put me as a Hufflepuff. So probably whatever.
I'm a Hufflepuff.
Whatever.
I'm a proud Hufflepuff. I'm a hero, but I'm not the leader. I'm just there.
Yeah.
Happy to help.
We get to hang out with Cedric.
Hey, all good.
It just depends on which one of my personalities we're talking about. There's a Gryffindor in there somewhere.
There's a Gryffindor in all of us. I mean, Harry, what did they say in the books that Harry was actually he was a fit for all of the houses, and there was a chance he was actually going to be a Slytherin, but they put him in Gryffindor?
Well, he asked not to be put into Slytherin because he
That's
thought it was bad, you know.
Right. Grooney here. Guy I knew from the town right next to him was on Ninja Warrior.
Joe Moravsky. See, I have a Joe Moravsky story as well because
okay.
He was who we were into when we were fans of that, and my son was little and was a huge Joe fan. Joe was a weatherman, and we would watch his little segments, and he ended up I contacted him on Facebook or something. Anyway, he ended up sending Ethan some stuff, like a signed photo and something else. Just sort of randomly when Ethan was little and into that show. But he was super nice.
Nice. Gurney rubbing it in that got to play softball with him.
Yeah, I always remembered him for that, for sending Ethan that stuff.
That's cool. That's awesome.
And I still really like that show. I don't get to really watch it that much, but I always liked that show.
Yep. Uh-oh. Everybody's got to... Dad's
Gotta get in
here.
line.
Everybody's- We're good. Everything's straight,
Everything
right?
looks great.
Thank you.
Broadcasting from the bunker.
Are you
Yeah,
Harry
no.
Potter adjacent?
I don't. There's nothing next to me, Harry Potter. No. Why?
Well, I mean, but do you know what house you are?
I've not officially been designated. I don't know if we're gonna do the thing for my daughter's turning 11, so we may do like a house thing, I guess. But I don't know. I'm only on the 4th book right now.
Okay, nice.
But I've seen the movies. I've seen like the later movies.
Okay,
That makes sense.
That's
Like when
fair.
they first came out, I went to see them. But I don't know all. Like her and I are reading the books for the first time together. So
pretty
Okay,
nice.
Joe Moravsky was a little hot-headed.
Joe
I can
Dombrowski.
believe that. You know, athletes, natural athletes, they're driven individuals.
Yeah, competitive.
While we've been literally bullshitting about Harry Potter, these girls are doing the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was the opener. I was tied up, but
It was really good.
Wesley and Dijak did work.
nice. Who won?
Their style
Wes with
matched really
James.
well. Yeah, Wes kept the belt.
Oh, nice. Okay.
We got Fallon and Katana in the ring right now.
Mm-hmm. Tony D'Angelo kind of got involved, so they're going to kind of push the 3-way story forward with them. So they'll probably get a 3-way at Stand and Deliver, if I had to guess.
I'm guessing Grooney's boy's no longer with that package, right? What was his
Not-
name?
not-
AJ
not
Galante?
tonight. Yeah, he already asked about him, so.
I think he's been gone for a while.
Yeah.
he's been
He pretty
gone
much
for a
only
while.
showed up like once or twice, so.
That's sad.
We got a blind tag.
Uh-oh.
Fallon up on the top. What? Uh-oh.
This is not going to end well.
Give her a little pop. There it is. That's
Ooh.
it. That's got to be it, right? Turn her over.
Am I behind?
How is that not a finish? What are we doing here?
Oh, how did I get
What
behind?
are we
I just
doing with
put
our
it on.
lives? Super
Yeah, I'm behind.
Frankensteiner.
Y'all are
That's
ahead
what-
of me.
They're just about to hit that for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I think Logan and I are right on. I think
Yeah,
we're
we're
in
synced up.
sync.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I thought it's all the same.
Casey got Marco stunt energy for me.
She does have very big Marco stunt energy.
It's very
And that's
small.
a compliment. That's a compliment because I'm a Marco fan.
More
They're going
info
for the finish,
on
they go.
our man Joe.
No, is this Joe Galante? Oh, it's Joe.
Oh, wow. There we go. New champs.
No, I'm still behind.
Spoilers.
I tried to go out and back in. No, keep it going live for the fans. So let's catch up.
That's crazy.
Wow. There you go. The wacky partners take the belts.
You have
Wow.
to live with this delay.
Yeah, no.
You're watching on Peacock, right? Or did you order it
Yeah,
on
watching
pay-per-view?
on Peacock.
Well, see, I see.
Well,
I'm
they
part of-
cheated.
I'm part of.
There was
I'm
a
part
little
of the
bit of
kid.
cheating.
I'm part of the kid dynasty, so I have the Taco Bell internet.
That's right. Yeah, you can Taco Bell account.
Fun finish though.
Yeah, pretty creative. The foothold on the prawn, holding the feet down on the prawn hold.
Mhm.
Oh, come on, guys! I got the audio playing in the background. What more do you want? I'm trying here. The only thing I could possibly do to get us in trouble is put it on the screen, and I don't want to do that. I
Yeah.
don't want to get us in trouble.
Yeah.
But I could.
Oh, yeah, I see it
don't,
down here now. I could watch it down there on yours.
don't tempt me. I will put this on the screen. I will.
Oh.
Then that's it. That's it. Anything more, I'm in trouble. I will put a
No
commercial
mas.
on.
I already had a YouTube video taken down this week. I don't need another one.
Oh no.
Hey man, these live ones they
Porn
get to me as
violation.
soon as they're done. We're not doing nothing. But so far, everybody in the chat, what do you guys think of Vengeance Day so far? With 2 up, 2 down. You got champions retaining, new champions being crowned. Oh, miss me with this guy.
Austin?
Stone Cold Steve Austin?
No,
Oh.
y'all are behind.
I know. I'm trying to look down a little picture here. Oh, Devlin.
It's JD McDonough.
JD
Ah.
McNugent.
He's the dude. Yep. He's awesome.
He missed
I
me
bet.
with him.
I'm You don't like him?
I'm not a big Jordan Devlin guy.
Wow. Okay.
I prefer original Finn Balor and not the copy.
Hmm.
Okay. I may have compared him to Bryan Danielson in an episode. I'm not gonna lie, of our NXT show that we have. So
Is he one of those that I like and I'm not supposed to?
yeah, probably.
Depending on like what you read
Mhm.
of
I don't read
JD
anything.
McDonough, he might be on a naughty list
Uh-huh.
of
Well, is that good or bad?
bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
He might have been included in the speaking out stuff.
Mm.
So, but it's okay. I think regardless of like your own personal preferences, I think WWE does enough due diligence that if somebody is super problematic, they find a way to part ties. Like look at Dream, Velveteen.
Mhm.
And so obviously I think that there might have been a little bit of smoke with McDonough, but not enough to like stick.
Take
Speaking
him
of
off.
smoke, here's Logan's girl, Keita Lyons.
Mm.
No, that's-
She's a
that's
wounded
just girl. I
lion
can't-
right now.
Shifts girl, I can't take the credit on that one.
I'm trying to shift it. She's had bad luck so far being his girl.
Yeah, that's true.
Keeps getting
Yeah.
hurt.
T's and P's to Nikita Lyon. Just I think was ACL surgery.
Yeah, ACL
Yeah,
meniscus.
that's
I
gonna
think
be a
it's
while.
Probably 9-10 months at best.
Yeah, I'll put her out till she'll probably be maybe like SummerSlam weekend. We might see, depending on if we get an early SummerSlam or a late SummerSlam.
That's tough
Yeah.
with an ACL. I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe like a Halloween Havoc kind of situation. Maybe she comes back around there. So
yeah.
But
Yeah,
she was kind of go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it too. It's not like they do a SummerSlam unless they go back to doing takeovers with the big. I know they do a Mania, but if not, it's not like that may not even be a big takeover that weekend anyway. So yeah, it could be more like if like Halloween
Right.
Havoc is like the next big one around that time or whatever.
Yeah, because after this we'll have Stand and Deliver, and then probably In Your House.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
In Your House will be an actual premium live event.
Yeah,
And
that'll be
then-
like after Money in the Bank ish area, I'd say.
Yeah. Look at Drew Gulak. What do you, Logan? You followed the NXT project probably closer than most of us else on the live feed. What do you think of Gulak's return, or not even return, because he wasn't necessarily NXT for very long. But what do you think of Gulak's presence in NXT now?
Yeah, I think it could work for sure. It seems like he's gonna maybe build like a wrestler kind of stable. So I'm kind of interested to see where that goes.
Like a catch point, maybe?
Yeah, maybe like a redux of that for sure. I guess it never really happened. But I think he's probably going to put a little thing together with a couple guys. He's training Hank right now. I don't think that's going to stick.
Hank Walker,
Henry Godwin,
Hank Walker, the former security guard. So
not related to Grayson Waller at all. Not
or
close
our
enough.
friend
Not
Chris
close.
Walker.
That's right. Or what was Wildcat Chris Harris's name?
Oh, Braden Walker.
Braden Walker. There it is. We've tied them all together. Here we go.
Here we go.
Here we
It's gonna
go.
be a banger.
It is going to be a banger for sure.
That was like a long stretch of stuff.
Commercials.
Yeah.
It's that good premium Peacock where you don't necessarily get commercials, but you get the personality pieces.
I'll tell you though, I mean, reading some of the Q4 report stuff, like that Peacock move was shrewd for them. I mean, it really greatly, I think, everyone's worried of the library and everything else, but I think it really greatly enhanced their reach. I mean, if you look at like every show is up 40-50% year over year, and it continues to go because more and more people are adding Peacock. It wasn't as much as I thought WWE Network was actually ahead of the curve. Like I thought they were pretty cutting edge. for what they had going on. And again, they came around way before all these other streaming services. So they were, for once, he was like ahead of the game. But I feel like they were never going to grow at the rate of like Peacock was going to, right? When you consider everything else NBC has under the banner that they're able to put on there, it exposes them to so much more. It's also probably an easier sell for like, I don't say kids, but maybe teenagers, kids that may don't have their own money to drop down $10 a month or whatever. Their parents may be more likely to get Peacock, right? Because maybe it has whatever sports or this or that they want to see. So now you have that access to it. It ended up being a brilliant move because their exposure just went up tenfold for these events.
Another part that you're not maybe, or most people don't think of, but like I live in an area where Comcast is a cable provider. And if you have Comcast cable and internet, you get Peacock for free.
Right.
So that's all bundled together. So there's even households that are in Comcast network that are just
not paying for it, but they're getting that.
Yeah, they're just getting it and bundled up. I mean, you talked about the third quarter or the reports that came out, but even the Royal Rumble numbers.
Yeah.
Where huge. 2 million live views of WrestleMania. And you also have to think too, with that number, that's just individual streams.
Yeah.
That's not considering watch parties where like the Rumble and WrestleMania are probably the two biggest social gathering events for pay-per-views, where if you're not at the venue, you're definitely watching it with a gang of folks. So some of those eyes get absolutely multiplied. And then also the talks about the advertising and the cross promotion during the Rumble as well.
Yep.
Between Mountain Dew Code or Mountain Dew Pitch Black, Applebee's, Street Fighter 6, and then even the title sponsor Capital One and Cricket. That's
I mean, it's insane. It took them this long to do like that sponsorship stuff on the mat and all. Like you're hearing, it sounds like they're going to maybe do more of that stuff, like put the ads on the mat and stuff like that, and turnbuckles. I mean, I know WCW was doing it back in the day, but only for like limited stuff. So it's just crazy to me that it's taken this long for them to embrace that, because to me, that's like a minor thing. I've never been bothered by like a logo on the mat or whatever. I mean, UFC and everything, they're all over the place in boxing. Like, so it's crazy to me that they've never gone that route.
Yeah, if you're watching along with us, let us know what you think about it. I know there's a lot of other conversations going on as we're waiting for the introductions of Carmelo Hayes and Apollo Crews. But like, what do you think of like sponsorships in wrestling? I know a couple of friends of mine who are almost dead set against having advertisements on the ring, on the aprons, things like that. And I'm like, but you're a sports fan too, right? Like if you're a sports fan, so how do you feel about the advertisements on NBA jerseys where it's not just the brand, but it's also like Caesar's Sportsbook or
that stuff's never bothered
literally anything in sports.
Yeah.
Cars. I mean, like it's endless. Like, come on.
That stuff's never bugged me on anything.
Me either.
Yeah, and with the Pitch Black match, like the most unridiculous thing was the logo being on the damn mat. Like the match was absurd. So
but that was to me. Like I don't know how it came across like live in person, but on camera, like watching back the event, I thought the mat was sick. Like
I did too.
Just with all the light bright colors and everybody being in neon.
It was
like,
cool live. It looked cool live. It
awesome.
did. And they kept it short. It wasn't like it didn't drag on and on and on. It was basically a squash.
It was absolutely way better than the Bray Wyatt maggot match with Randy Orton at WrestleMania. Yeah. Like
the maggot match? Did I miss that?
Have you not seen Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania?
With the bugs?
I don't
you have to watch it, Jenny. This is bad. This is all-time bad place WrestleMania match.
I don't know. Randy Orton usually is on his game.
I was so hyped for that match too because I love the feud.
Good.
Yeah. Well, the feud is great with them
Which
being a
Mania
team and all that. 33.
Mania 33.
All right.
It was in
Morgan and
Orlando.
I were there.
Like
I was there,
during the match, they would do like widescreen cutaways, and like place a projection of maggots on the mat while they were wrestling.
And
Multiple
cockroaches.
times, Jenny.
Yeah, it was confusing.
It's not good.
I'm intrigued. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a horror.
It's probably, I would say, it might fit right in your wheelhouse for sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you
Sounds
might
fun.
need to.
Yeah, if you're into the spooky, creepy, haunted, weird, freaky stuff like that, absolutely.
Mhm.
But me, I am very much I'm a nice little marshmallow boy. I don't like it.
Marshmallow boy.
I'm
Oh
very
my
soft-
Logan,
God.
as our,
on the outside,
I'm
I'm
gonna,
soft
I'm gonna
on the
change the
inside.
subject off of Tim's composition. Logan, as the resident NXT dialed in expert here, how's
Uh-huh.
Apollo Crews NXT run been to you? Has it been a worthwhile shift for him? Has it benefited him and NXT? Like, is it a wash? Like, what do you think about it?
No, I think it's been good so far. He had the title shot against Braun at the last PLE, and it wasn't that great. But I think it was more the story that they had going in, that they were like buddies and they went fishing and like sat at the diner together. So the story was just kind of dumb. But no, I think it's worked out. He's had some good TV matches for sure. And I think it's good for him. You know, another one of those guys to have kind of down there as a veteran presence, like he's been on the main roster. And he kind of gets to live out the NXT thing because he was, you know, he came in and he was only in NXT for like 2 or 3 months, and they rocketed him up to the main roster. So I think it kind of works both ways. I think it kind of invigorates him. And the same thing with the New Day. We'll talk about them when they have their match later on. But I think it kind of reinvigorated him for sure.
I mean, I like the concept of guys going down there and like,
Yeah.
if they're a little stale on the main roster, I mean, there's nothing to do. I mean, as long as their compensation stays the same, which I'm assuming it is.
Right.
To me, it's like, why not? Like, go do like it. Mandy Rose was like the shining example, right? I mean, someone that was really going nowhere on the main roster goes down there and has this like awesome run in NXT because it's just such a different setting. I thought it helped Dolph last year a little bit when he went down and had the feud of Breaker. So I think it's like something they should explore more because it'll help wake up NXT sometimes by bringing a veteran in to work with some of the younger folks, and then also give those veterans that it's almost like going to a change of territories, right? Like for way back in the day where you maybe disappear for a bit. So maybe there are a lot of fans that don't watch NXT, but for those that do, they get to see them. Then they come back up and they're a little fresh. Maybe they've been gone for 6 or 7 months. It might be a way to naturally refresh people.
I don't disagree with that, and I've seen that happen before. But is that the point of the entire exercise? Like, because I feel like sometimes they come in and they interrupt what they're doing on NXT, and I don't know. Those are your people that you're developing, right? So,
right.
I think it depends on whose lens you're looking at NXT through.
Right.
Like, is NXT, and it's still, even though we've had the bioluminescent 2.0 rebranding where it's not a third brand, it's main roster, or it's not a third brand, it's a developmental brand. But also, the people in charge when that change was made are no longer in charge, really.
Yeah.
And so now it's kind of like we're reshifting the viewpoint. So if it's a developmental brand, having Carmelos or having Cruises and Zigglers and New Days come back to NXT and not be leading from a position of not weakness, but like not having to win to lead.
They don't ever do that though.
Well, this has been the problem with NXT.
Brand, like,
it's the problem with NXT from the beginning. It was like, what did they want it to be? Right? It was always it was developmental, then it wasn't. Then they loaded it with every indie megastar they had, right, for 4 years. So it became a super fed for like insider fans, you know, and then it goes back up to now, you know, back like you just said, Ted, like back to being developmental. So now okay, so now it's a training ground, but is it? I mean, it's on USA, so is it really a training ground? Like, because for a while it was that third brand, and then they had the loop below that, right, where the Performance Center folks that were doing the local Florida, the coconut loop or whatever, right? So that was like that was the real developmental, right? So it was almost levels to it. So I just think they have to reassess like what this is supposed to be.
Black and Gold was really the only third brand.
Right.
Yeah.
And Logan can probably mention it too, but it's like even right now in NXT, there's 2 different NXTs too. Because you've got NXT, but then you've got Level Up, which is NXT, but Level Up feels very much like developmental.
And that's good if they ladder it,
Yeah, that's true developmental. That's like if you're getting TV time, that's where you kind of start out. That's where Sol Ruka, the big one now that everybody's popping for with the the cool move that she does. Like she's on there a lot, and that's where they start to really get themselves comfortable in front of a crowd and stuff like that. So and even when Black and Gold was still around, 205 Live, once it stopped being the cruiserweight show. Right. That's kind of what that was, because that's where like a Waller was on all the time, and Carmelo was on for a good bit. So,
Odyssey Jones,
a lot of the guys that are on the main NXT shows kind of started out on 205 Live, and now they're kind of working through Level Up now that it's kind of rebranded.
Bernie's got a question: if we think NXT is the equivalent of the NFL Combine, I think you're close to that. I think that it's not the Combine. I think it's like the G League for the NBA, where any person on NXT could eventually get the call, suit up, and be on the main roster. Whereas with Combine, you're thinking of undrafted players.
That's more like the Performance Center when they bring the classes in to try out and all that.
Yeah, like to the big tryout classes, or you know what the Combine is? NXT. The NIL program,
right? Yeah,
is the Combine. It's like we see promise in these quote unquote future WWE superstars. So, but we're reaching out to them in college, and that makes sense. Johnny C going, is EC3 on tonight? Nah, man, he ain't been here in a hot minute.
Unfortunately, he's still controlling his narrative. So, yeah,
he's controlling his narrative.
He didn't get the call when Braun got the call to come back. So.
No.
You'd think everybody else with Control Your Narrative that was big enough got the call back from WWE, except for EC3.
Sad. Let's all cry about it.
I'm shocked he never went back to Impact.
Ron came back.
Yeah.
EC3 didn't even go back to Impact, right?
Yeah, no, he never did. He did ROH, and then I don't really know what he's doing now. He's kind of just floating, doing. I think he maybe is he NWA? Maybe I don't know. He was at the show that Jenny went to, I think, but
he was
EC3 wasn't he at the NW show?
I don't recall.
Okay.
Yeah.
All I remember is Matt and Chelsea.
Yeah.
I got you.
The Control Your Narrative stuff. They were trying to like saddle it up with other indie shows.
Mm-hmm.
But then eventually, once like all of their big ticket talent got re-signed by WWE,
right?
Control Your Narrative is kind of underwater right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Andy made a good point a second ago too about Jinder being an NXT. So again, like continuing that trend. Yeah,
I pulled that up on the screen while we were talking about it. And Jinder's a prime example of somebody who had whether you agreed to his push or not agree, but if it was for you on the main roster when he was WWE champion, beating Randy Orton, having the little bit of run, and then losing the title to AJ Styles, Jinder's at that point where he's too big to do nothing in WWE, but he's also too big to be like too big to do something and like be meaningful in NXT. I think if you bring him into NXT, using him with the Indus Sheer guys, the Veers and the who's the other guy with
Sangha.
Sangha, yes. Using him to raise them up is a perfect place for Jinder. Because Jinder's a guy who's been in the WWE system as Apollo Crews literally kills Carmelo Hayes with a moonsault off the apron to the floor. I think that's a perfect place for him. He's been in the WWE system multiple times. He's been a guy who was there, left, and fought his way back. So he completely understands what they look for. And he's one of those guys, the expression of better coach than player. I
Mm.
think Jinder's usefulness as a main time in-ring competitor might be going away, much like MVP on the main roster now.
Mhm.
But you can't tell me MVP is not useful. And I think Jinder Mahal, especially for the Indian talent that are coming over from into the WWE, it definitely stands out. Look, if I know a way to get my boss out of here, it's to start talking about Jinder Mahal. Okay, you don't hinder Jinder. Okay, don't. If you say his name for 4 more times in the mirror, he's going to come back. Okay,
He's gonna join the stream.
He's going to come in the room and hit you with the Colossus.
I'm gonna get hooked. He's gonna just dump me. I'm gonna be ass over tea kettle, my flip flops in the air. What's going on?
Yeah, the Creeds and
I
the
love
Creeds
me a
and then
delayed suplex.
Oh yeah. Trent
And
also making a very fine point. Carmelo's tights, very Jerichoian from WrestleMania 19. I love those tights. I think that's a good draft topic for No Holds Barred. Wrestling attires.
Oh jeez.
Hopefully no notebooks are thrown in that one. So
no, we can't. I can't. I don't want to piss off Chad again, man. I felt so bad. But if you don't know what we're talking about, go back onto the YouTube channel. All of it can be found on northsouthconnection.com. Check everything out but our draft day episodes. Every other episode of No Holds Barred, we get a collection of folk. The draft topics are very near and dear to me. So I've kind of taken upon myself to be, and I've been afforded the opportunity to be the draft czar. Rule with an iron fist and a soft heart.
Look, somebody's got to do it.
You know, somebody's got to wrangle you
Too much
cats in.
bickering. Yep.
I'm back, Trent. It was not the gender talk. I'm back.
Sure.
It's a long match.
Yep.
Well, it's 2 out of 3
2
falls too.
That does make sense.
Draft segments
You
with
give Carmelo
no wrestling.
Hayes however much he needs.
Is this a different John C or the same John C?
I'm not sure.
We have multiple John C's?
We could have multiple John C's.
It's like a Bizarro Johnny C?
Yes.
Oh, jeez.
It was formal. It's like, did he join
Isn't that just the regular Johnny C?
Join the Orc Foundation?
I'm just playing.
Is that Jonathan C?
You make a really good point, Logan. Like, give Carmelo Hayes all the time he needs, man. Let Chef cook. Like, he's the guy. So I love me a good 2 out of 3 falls match too.
Me too.
Probably
So-
my favorite understated gimmick match.
Can we draft gimmick matches?
I think that's on my list.
Okay. Good.
I've got a big board of draft topics that don't involve
made of
music.
marshmallows?
Yes. Food items that include marshmallows.
So apparently, Vic Joseph said this is, which hadn't resonated with me, what all this means. It's the first NXT. No, this can't be right. It says they haven't been on the road since NXT TakeOver Portland, but I mean, they were in Dallas, so I guess that's 100% accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But man, like maybe he meant like non-media
By
weekend,
itself,
like
I think is what he means. Yeah.
like so.
Yeah,
It's
by
crazy to
themselves.
think Portland. Portland is
I
like
love
that one of those.
show.
But it's such a seminal show because to me it was like the end.
Yep.
In many ways, the end of the old NXT, because I know a lot of those guys stuck around through the pandemic stuff, which, you know, my world doesn't count. But just like that was right on the doorstep of the, just the world changing at that point. I mean, that was it. Like, so
And
that,
it was
that
a
takeover
fucking
Portland.
amazing show.
Yeah, it felt like the bookend to that era.
Yeah, that was that the last major WWE event before COVID?
No, it was Elimination. Was it Elimination?
Chamber,
It wasn't one in
Chamber
March.
was after that.
Elimination Chamber.
Because D'Amato and Cowboy went. It was in Philly.
Yeah, I remember that.
And they literally went and like everything shut down like a couple days later. It was like one of the last events that happened, I think.
God, that TakeOver Portland card, nasty.
Oh, it's so amazing.
Oh, it's a great.
That one had Dijak Lee on it, like we were talking about earlier in the first one.
Dijak Lee opened.
Yep.
Dakota Kai and
match was
Tegan
sick.
Knox in a street fight. The returning Finn Balor versus Johnny Wrestling. Rhea defended the women's title against Bianca Belair.
Yep.
We had the Broserweights against
Yeah,
the
we
Undisputed
did.
Era.
Yep.
Mhm.
They
And
came
then
out on the
Adam
golf cart in
Cole-
that one. That was awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah, Adam Cole and Tomato Champs for the NXT title.
Yep.
Did you
Chamber-
say
Yeah, Andy-
tomato
Andy-
champs?
Yeah,
Tomato
Andy
Champ.
was at that show too.
That's right, Andy was
at
there,
the
yeah.
Philly.
Yeah, that was that was like this crazy. But yeah, no, Portland, NXT TakeOver Portland, one of the best for sure. But it's sad. I mean that brand of takeover, and talked about this. It was one of the behind the connections, Jen. I don't know if it was with you. Actually, it might have been when you were on. We talked about like the importance of
Mhm.
NXT to a lot of us and the trips that we take. You know, all the different road trips we take, and like what that black and gold brand really meant during that time period. And I'll be honest, like it took me a while to want to adapt to the 2.0 just because of what that era meant to a lot of us.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna give Logan credit because his infectiousness of it, the way he promotes it, talks about it, actually like makes me more interested in it because we do talk so often. So seeing you like so into it, you know, makes me want to check it out more. And I did enjoy. We went Stand and Deliver last year, was cool live. So I try and have it on more, more than not. You know.
I knew Tim was gonna hear us talking about Portland somehow and pop up. So I'm excited
Yeah.
to see that.
He has a trigger in his brain.
He does. We both do. Like
Yeah.
if anybody says
Yeah.
Portland,
Oh, it's
we
a great
always
show.
freak out.
Mhm.
Yeah, and so yeah, Andy nailed it. Right? It was a few days later was when everything happened. In Philly, and then was it Gobert, right? Was the big one, Rudy Gobert, where he touched
Yeah.
all the microphones and everything, and
Patient Zero.
yeah,
I feel so bad for Rudy Gobert. Like, because I think I explicitly remember that press conference where he like made
yeah,
a
he was
joke.
touching
Like,
all the
of us
mics and
were
everything.
kinda-
Yeah.
All of us were kind of thinking it, but he actually like going touching all the mics and like, and then he ends up getting it. Like, feel for Gobert, man.
Yeah, that's not
Oh shit. That was good.
Trick is losing it on the outside.
What do you think about Trick Williams?
He's really good as Melo's kind of heavy mouthpiece kind of guy. Or, well, not mouthpiece
man.
really. I think Carmelo can talk for him, but I think he's good in that role. I might struggle with him once they kind of break away from each other, if they break away from each other. But because he's all right in the ring, but he's not great. But we'll see.
Yeah,
I guess is the best way.
I don't know if they last long together on a main roster. I think it's just the difference between the NXT presentation and the WWE presentation.
Yeah.
Are they coming up soon, you think? I feel like he's been there for a while now. He's like in this role, or
we were talking earlier in the first match. If Waller doesn't take the belt from him from Braun tonight, I think Carmelo probably wins it at Stand and Deliver. Because this is kind of a quasi number one contender match, I think.
right?
They didn't say that, but you know, I think they've kind of implied that whoever wins this is probably the next challenger.
Yeah, I think Breaker's not coming up to after Mania at this point. If he's not going to be in the
That's
Rumble, he's not going to come up in the build to Mania. So I would think he loses the title at Stand and Deliver, or gets his rematch at Stand and Deliver, loses again or something, and then
Yeah.
you got to think this year he's like next night guy. I would think.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, for sure. Well, see, my thing is like I think it's a cage match tonight, so I think it might end in a way where Waller wins, but like it's not real.
Yeah.
Like
Definitive.
he didn't really. It's not definitive, so they have a one-on-one rematch, no holds barred, and kind of go after it, and Waller sneaks away with the win, and then he comes up after Mania. So, but that's just kind of my thought process. But if Braun wins tonight, I see Melo probably beating him at Mania. I think he needs to be the top guy.
And at some point for Breaker, it's like it's going to start to be diminishing returns. I mean, he's ready.
Yeah.
Right. It's like when you get a stud minor leaguer already. It's like, all right, at some point, it's not giving him any reps to be down there after a while.
Yeah, that's true.
At some point, you got to sink or swim in the big leagues. So I think it's probably time. I mean, he's been around for what? How long? Like a year and a half now, right?
Yeah, ever since 2.0 started. So yeah, almost a year and a half, I'd say.
Yeah. All right. Hayes got the first fall. You think it's going 3? It's a prediction. Or are we going 2 straight?
Nah, I think it'll go 3.
3.
They don't
Gotta go 3.
2-0.
I like the 2-0 sometimes when they do
Me
it though.
too. It's
Like
it's
it adds
unexpected.
adds that volatility.
Have they done 2-0 in a while? Like I'm trying to think of other 2 out of 3 falls matches that WWE has put on. Like
the only one the only one I remember is the Usos went 2-0 on Shelton and Gable at some random SmackDown pay-per-view a few years ago.
I remember He Who Shall Not Be Named went 2-0 on MVP for the US title.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Notorious
the other way
Chocolate
around?
Bunny Eater.
One of the memorable ones was Austin. Was it Austin and Dustin Rhodes? I think it was like Starrcade 93. I want to say. I'll pull that out of the whole story. I think that was a 2-0. That was like one of the first big ones they did on like a main stage. I felt like.
Or was that one of the Beach Blasts?
No, that was the Iron Man. I'm pretty sure it was Starrcade 93. I'll double check it, but I think in Austin won 2 in a row, and I remember being surprised at the time.
Ooh. And the reason they did the 2 out of 3 here is because they both have a win on each other on TV. So they were like, let's see who
go best of 5.
has the battle. Yeah.
The Flair Foley was 2 straight too. I think was that like
for
Vengeance?
Flair, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Austin. It was Starrcade 93. 23 minutes. Austin won 2-0 over the Natural. Bruni thinks that No Way Out 01 best of 3 is the best of the gimmick. I feel like that's a cheat though because of the gimmick.
Yeah, that's 3 stages of hell. That's not just 2 out of 3.
Right.
How do you?
It's a great match though. I won't.
It's awesome. No, but he said, "How do you go 2 out of 3 falls? You don't go 3 because it's best 2 out of 3. It's like a playoff series.
It's 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
So if you get 2, you don't have to go to the 3rd.
Right. It's like the NBA Finals is 4 out of 7. Right. You don't have to go 7. But
Love you for that, Gurney.
Oh my god, that move was insane. Good lord.
I'm getting up to it in a second, I guess. Oh yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, y'all are behind them. I'm sorry.
That's all right. We do have the live feed down here in the studio. Can see it.
I got you. Okay.
Where's the show again? I forget.
Charlotte.
Oh, that's right. It's a good spot.
Charlotte.
I believe
I'm going to be right back. Give me a second.
All right, buddy. We got you.
I believe Tim said it was in the Spectrum Center. I think is what he called it earlier. So
I've never really spent much time in Charlotte. I've flown through there a lot. I've been to Raleigh, but never Charlotte proper.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
literally
nice.
right back.
Yeah, it's nice. My grandmother, my great grandmother used to live there, so we used to go a lot when I was younger. But I hadn't been in, probably 15 years.
Ooh.
So
I did have a very brief debate of moving to that area because we have an office down there, and a while ago, but didn't materialize. Tim, that was literally a right back. That was like the most rightest back.
So I'm trying to find a way to I had the way I was sharing
okay. Mr. Capel wants a best of 7 that doesn't get the 7. That could be interesting too. Ends in 5 or 6. How many? They haven't done like a lot of best of 7s. Like how many have we really had? We had Benoit Booker, and then Benoit Booker. Well, that was 5.
Oh, was that 5? Okay.
Yeah. Then they tried Benoit Booker again, and everyone kept getting hurt. 6 or whatever.
So it ended up even Randy Orton like 5 of the matches randomly.
Yeah, it was something weird. Like, I got all screwed up. Sammy versus Roman Cena Booker. I don't know what that means, but I can't think of many others. I feel like
no, I think that's it. I was hoping with McAfee coming back in the Rumble that Barrett would come back to NXT commentary too, but
because Barrett did SmackDown.
Yeah, I think McAfee's just pay-per-view or PLEs.
You think so?
Yeah, I don't think he'll be full time, just as it's so helter-skelter with the football stuff. So
right. Yeah, it stinks. I mean, I liked him every week on SmackDown, but I think if they at least can get him for the big events, I think that's a good deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that makes it special.
Yeah, he'll add that extra vibe to it.
Because the crowd popped huge for him coming out at Rumble. So.
And he's good at it. It's not like he's just,
Oh yeah.
you know, he's not there just because he's a name. Like he's actually really good at the role.
And that's the good thing about the like celebrities they've gotten over the past few years. At least a lot of them took it super seriously and like really get into it and are actually fans before they kind of get into it. So
yeah,
they've done a really good job kind of doing that.
I know.
Who do you think was the first celebrity that we had? Oh, it's Dabba-Kato.
Oh my god.
Sorry?
Kato.
So it's his old buddy from the main roster when he was the Nigerian prince.
Yeah, that was Commander Aziz.
Yeah, that's right. So part of Apollo's gimmick is he has visions. So on Tuesday, he had a vision that somebody like appeared in it, but it was like a shadow, so you couldn't really tell who it was.
So that's a payoff.
Who it was supposed to be.
Wait.
2-0.
There we go.
There you go.
2-0.
2-0.
I had a feeling. It was coming for this one.
The fans are shook.
Well, when you said it was a de facto number one contender match, to me the 2-0 makes sense. Have him like win dominant and elevate to that title
Just
match.
standing there waiting on that leg drop.
Yeah, I think it's a good move. That's what made it pop in my head and say it was when you brought that up.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, no matter who wins tonight, I think it will be
Do you think Hayes at Mania?
Yeah, Hayes will get the shot at Stand and Deliver. Because they wouldn't do Braun, even if Braun wins,
I'm
they
gonna go
wouldn't do
sit
Braun
and deliver.
Apollo again. All right. Oh, gross.
Taking her off the stream for that.
Yeah, I got you.
Runs like
Maybe she's
maze,
going
hits
to
like
take a
shit.
guys. I'm just kidding.
Logan. It's a
I'm just
family
kidding.
feed.
I'm just joking.
We're
She's
highbrow.
pooping.
We're highbrow over here.
2 falls to none. Way to
No,
go,
did that live up to the hype for you?
Oh yeah, no, that
I
was
knew you were
great.
pumped about that one.
No, that was great.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it accomplishes what it needed to accomplish.
Yeah.
For Carmelo. Oh
yeah,
no.
I like the 2-0. I'm a fan of it, especially with these two guys on the trajectory they're on. Like Apollo, like we said, is kind of there to help get the younger guys over right now and be that stalwart. So like Hayes going 3, I think the 2-0 makes way more sense.
Yep.
I don't like this.
Yep.
I smell the smell of a thing that smells. Yep.
Uh-oh. Oh, God. And this was another guy, like, he never really was on NXT when he was down there. So, like, it's good for him to come back.
Well, they can use Apollo now to put him over.
Dabba-Kato has been one of like WWE's biggest like start and stop casualties because they had him and he was originally brought up during the Raw After Dark. What was it called?
Underground.
Raw Underground.
Yeah, okay. I thought he was in that. Yeah.
He was in Raw Underground, then he was gone, and then he became. They had him show up for the greatest Royal Rumble in Saudi. Then he was gone. Then he was Commander Aziz. So now he's back up with Apollo now as foes and new tag team champs. Kiana James and Fallon Henley. As my microphone does whatever the H it wants.
Congratulations, champ. Actually, it was Brooke's idea.
I don't know how I feel about Brooks Jensen.
Baby Bull Buchanan.
That is Baby Bull Buchanan.
It sure is.
I forgot.
Yeah.
I forgot that he was a thing.
Yeah. they just showed Tiffany Stratton. She's going to be the next big superstar on the girls' side for sure.
Is it her or is it going to be Sol Roca?
Nah,
Sol
I think it's going to
Ruca?
be.
Better call
I think
Soul.
Tiffany's got it more now. I'd say. Soul may eventually get it. I hope they don't push Soul past her talent level to start off with, because I think she's still
Ooh.
kind of.
That's a
I think
great
she's still,
statement.
yeah, I think she's has the cool move. I don't want them to buy too much into that and
Right.
kind of over push her and her being more trouble with like not knowing how to work in the ring and all that kind of stuff. So, but I think Stratton's ready now. But Ruka could be awesome if they kind of pace her the right way.
There you go, Logan. There's a question for you from Trent.
All right. Nah, he's definitely trying to bang Kiana. He's been flirting with Kiana for a while. I don't know if they kind of imply that Fallon and Briggs are together, but
to me, they are like it's an unspoken thing because they're both the country kids.
Yeah.
So it's like, and Brooks is cleaned up and tried to be more like he still has the curly mullet, but he dresses up a little more to impress.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious what comes next.
Yeah.
We've still got the women's title. You got to think cage match will obviously main event.
Yeah.
But we've got the tag
left,
titles.
Oh, we got 3.
We've got the tag title 4-way with the New Day, Gallus, Pretty Deadly, and Chase U.
Yeah.
It's like,
I'll be
and
right
then
back,
we
guys.
cool, no problem.
So then we got the women and then the main.
Yep. So the tag, women, and the main.
Yeah, I would think the tag is next, and because they usually NXT standard booking usually has the 2 title matches back to back.
Right. Are you fully recovered from San Antone?
I never recover from these. It's just it slowly takes one more year of my life every time, but yeah, that was good. It was good.
Good. How
It was a
was
cool
it
town.
for you?
I'd never been there, so it was kind of cool. It was a little quieter than I thought, although it was odd because like Friday night and Sunday night it was like dead in the town. Saturday night though it was like New York City. Like you're walking down there, there's huge lines outside of every club and bar, like younger people just all dressed up to go out like clubbing and stuff, and it was loud walking through the streets. But then it was like, where are these people on Friday? And like Sunday it was like completely quiet. It was odd.
Right.
But get to visit the Alamo, so that was cool.
Nice. We got WrestleMania plans too.
No, I'm not gonna.
Sadly, no.
I might not be able to watch night 1. I'm gonna be at a softball tournament.
Oh.
Yeah, dramatically different for me this year.
Nice.
Back at it, Philly. Back at it, Philly.
Heck yeah. I'm ready to saddle up and meet a lot of you guys at
Hell yeah.
in Philly for sure.
All right, get the varsity club out here.
I love Chase U. I've been a big fan of Andre Chase even like before when he was a Bravado brother. Not a big fan of Duke Hudson, but
All these names are.
I was gonna say I don't know who anyone is because these names are so like bland, not bland, but just so undescriptive.
Grooney has mania plans. He's gonna wreak havoc on LA.
We may not see him again. That might be it. I mean, it'd be a good ending to his story.
We'll never see him again.
we got I'm trying to remember the names of the Pretty Deadly Boys. It's Elton Prince and Kit Wilson.
Kid Wilson.
I saw Blades of Glory recently for the first time in a while. This is it right here.
I actually hope they win. They're fun.
Well, they were the incumbent tag team champions before the New Day knocked them off.
Right.
So this is their get back. But
What's the girl's name with Chase U?
Thea Hale.
The yeah, she's the Sherry O'Terry one, right?
Yes. She's like, her gimmick was she is freshly 18. Sure.
Okay.
Because she was a
Look,
college.
that's very important to a lot of people.
It is. It's almost the first question you ask, right?
I mean, it should be high up on the
It
list.
should be very high on the list. As we got Gallus coming out next, Mark Coffey and Wolfgang.
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 That's No, I actually really like that name.
I actually love Wolfgang. Period. Like Wolfgang's legit. Like he was like one of the only
Gallus
guys
is
from
legit.
the NXT UK. Yeah.
Did the other Coffee? Is he gone?
I don't think so. I think that Joe Coffey.
Mm-hmm.
He's still around.
They call it Mister.
Mr. Coffey.
Mr. Joe Coffey.
Is NXT UK, is that dead or is that still a thing?
It's dead.
They
So-
merged them, sort of.
That's right.
They merged them at Worlds Collide.
Right.
Because they had Tyler Bate and Braun.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I mean, for a minute there, it was. I mean, I watched it fairly regularly early on, and then it became all problematic and shit, and that was it. But and then the pandemic pretty much killed it.
Or as Stokely Hathaway would call it, it was witness protection. Where if you worked for NXT UK, you were safe from all cuts. Nobody got fired from NXT UK. It was everybody else. But I think they're talking about next year they're going to reopen NXT UK as NXT Europe.
Yeah, that's what Andy's saying here too.
Yeah. And then there was also talks of like an NXT Japan.
Well, that was the old.
That's
I mean,
interesting.
Triple H was all about that shit years ago, like before Vince got mad and shut it all down. Remember they had the big map, and they had all like it was Japan, Europe, UK, it was like Asia. Yeah, that was like his original idea for everything.
World domination. It looked like the fucking
Developmental domination.
Axis powers map.
Yeah.
Logan, you think this is it for New Day? Like, was there a run here? Or do you think they take them through Mania?
I think they're here through Mania. I definitely think they face one of these teams at Stand and Deliver. Yeah, I think they retain here. I think they want to put over one of the teams, kind of in a one-on-one kind of situation. So
yeah.
Which team?
I think Gallus is probably going to be the Stand and Deliver team that they go up against because they've kind of had their thing with Pretty Deadly and. Chase U's not really a serious gimmick, I'll say, on TV. So
Really? What do you mean?
they're just, their segments are played more for comedy.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
Well, is the same true for Pretty Deadly too?
Well, they're like unintentionally funny, I guess. I don't know.
Right.
They're just very British. So
This bottom part of Wolfgang's trunks are doing a lot of work.
I was gonna let it go.
A lot of work.
Say not a word. Just gonna enjoy the show.
The UK guys, they're really good in the department. They're loaded.
That's like a pomegranate.
That man, good lord.
Plums, I tell you, plums.
He needs to get checked out.
For those who didn't,
Wolfcock.
Right, whole gangish in there. Those who didn't catch it, it looks like the New Day are carrying over from Zelina Vega's Street Fighter gear. They are E Honda and Blanca from Street
Give me
Fighter.
Piston Honda. Enough E Honda.
Nah. Whenever we get the whenever we get the punch out stuff.
Zelina's SmackDown gear, I would rate over whatever it is you just called it. That was something.
What, her Royal Rumble gear?
No, the one she had on SmackDown last night topped the Rumble. 100%.
Yeah, but the Rumble gear made the WWE money.
Did it?
Talking about personal
Yes.
enjoyment.
It was a cross promotional thing with Street Fighter.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
they put it on our entrance video. It was like on
yeah,
each side
like
of her
Street
name.
Fighter 6. It was Capcom is paying the money for Zelina to do her thing, which I think is great. Like, Zelina loves to do cosplay anyways, so
So
like
she's got the big Twitch thing, right?
All of them are
I think she
half-assed
used to.
cosplayers.
Oh yeah, she was a big.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I know her Twitch was like huge for a while.
Mm. Oh my god.
Nice.
I will always be pro New Day for forever and always.
Oh yeah, can't not be.
9.
All right, well,
And
where do you
going back
rank
to
them? It was a
Oh.
debate when we did the GWA tag teams. They finished. Well, I know for me and Aaron, we did a co-list. We had them top 3. I think they ended up at 1, but we had them top 3.
So it really, in my heart, they are 1. But it's hard to not put the Usos in that list too.
No, we had them top 3 as well. It was the 2 of them. I think we had the Shield.
See, I don't think
tougher,
the
I know.
Shield. I think the Bar.
Yeah, they were up there.
The Bar should be on that list. The Demolition or top 5 WWE team. And then if like I had to round out my top 5, it would probably be the Heart Foundation.
Yeah, they
They don't have the.
We'll have
the
to
problem
revisit.
is,
Yeah.
yeah, they don't have the longevity as a team that like.
Yeah, when Aaron and I broke it down, I think they ended up finishing a little bit lower than we thought. I mean, the Rockers are high too, but
Yeah, I don't know. Like if I don't know if I would have the Rockers that high.
wow.
But I'd really have to like sit down and do the exercise.
There you go.
New Day
Trent,
came in at 2 on the GWB list.
I think the Heart Foundation finished 1, Trent, didn't they?
Ooh.
I think in the overall list.
Was it not
For me
the
and-
Hardys?
Oh, the Hardys is the other one. That's right. Was the
Okay.
Hardys one? They were. I
Yeah, I
think they
think
were me
Hardys
and
won,
Aaron's one. Yeah, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
It was Hardys
Hardys.
1, New Day 2, Usos 3, Revival 4, Shield 5.
See, I don't know about the Shield. Like,
Depends how flexible you want to be. If you're gonna count the like as the Freebird thing and say, well, they were all tag matches. I mean,
But-
they have an argument for 1. You know, if you count all that.
right, but I don't think that Ambrose ever defended the titles. Like, I don't think that they used the Freebird rule.
Because he was US champ.
Yeah, but
they
even if it was
very-
Rollins and Reigns, it's still. I mean,
It was Rollins and Reigns.
Yeah,
and
they
they
were
were a
so great,
solid
too.
team. Yeah, they were great.
it depends if you
I
count all the
love-
6-man stuff. I think that's what the argument would be. All that.
Yeah.
All those
But if
tags,
you
yeah.
do that, then like you run, it's a very fine line. Like with, Grooney, I think this is a one fall fatal 4-way.
It has to be. It's so they're running kind of long already. And we got 2 matches left. I can't imagine they're gonna do elimination here. I think Hardy's 1 makes sense. I mean, that list was 2018, so that was still like the Bar was kind of just had happened. The Usos, I mean, they were great already, but it's still before like a lot of their best stuff. I'd say New Day had most of their best stuff by that point.
Yeah.
Because it was that right after that was Kofi's solo shit, but
Right.
Yeah.
Edge and Christian should be really high on the list.
so it's an interesting one because that's another one you really dig in. And I think it affected more of like the Edge on the solo GWE list, but so much of the reliance on the gimmick stuff. It's just an interesting time period. I'm not gonna rehash all the arguments, but like there's some really good podcasts Aaron and I did from that time,
Right.
and others too. Just breaking down when you really dig in the case. Like the longevity you mentioned was an issue for that. Like you said, for Heart Foundation didn't have longevity. I mean, Edge and Christian really, as a team at a high level, was like 2.5 years, and that's it.
Yeah.
It's like early '99, and they break up in like summer of 01.
2000. Yeah, 2000. Yeah, 2001ish, or when right
Slightly
after
over
Edge
2
wins.
years.
Yeah,
Right when
after
Edge
King of the
wins
Ring.
the King of the Ring. So 02,
01.
No, that was a 1.
01.
Yeah, it's like barely 2 years.
Brock 102.
That's right. Yep. See,
was the
part
last
of me just smacks myself in the back of the head for like not being in this circle back when a lot of these conversations were being had. Like I'm still very new to the like place to be, NoSo, quadapods.
You just go do
World.
what Jenny did and listen to every show ever when she caught up.
Okay, let me just put in a
Become universally beloved by everyone. Check. Listen to everything and have comments on everything.
I got comments on everything. You just gotta tell me what you were talking about first.
Well, we did do so. The
listen.
first GWE list we did was 2017. That's
Yeah,
when we
and
just
I-
redid this year.
Yep, and I did follow back on that one because I was going back to see like what everybody had voted previously.
Yeah,
and-
then the
and
second
kinda
one,
see.
the follow up, we did the tag teams. We did. I think we only did. Did we do 100? Yeah, I think we did do 100. Or do we only do 50?
No, it was 100. Everything's 100.
Hard and I consider Undisputed Era, even though they're more of a faction. See, but to me, Undisputed Era, there's two different teams. Because there was the traditional Undisputed Era team of Cole and O'Reilly, but then, or not Cole and O'Reilly, O'Reilly
Fish
and
and O'Reilly.
Fish.
Fish.
But then there's also the O'Reilly Strong.
Which
Tandem?
I enjoy as well.
I
think they're
prefer
better.
that one.
I think that's-
I prefer
yeah,
that
I mean-
one. Yeah.
Roddy is badass.
Yeah, Roddy's awesome. He doesn't get enough credit.
No, he does not.
He is just sitting, laying low, holding out on his WWE contract. They won't release him.
I miss me
They'd
some
be-
Roddy.
They'd be stupid to release him right now, especially with like Ring of Honor making a triumphant return.
Yeah, and Cole's
If
just coming
Roderick
back,
Strong
so-
were a free agent, Tony Khan would sign him, and Mr. Ring of Honor would absolutely be back. Yeah, Kyle O'Reilly and Strong were so awesome. I am not a Bobby Fish guy, and that is not even talking about like external from the outside of the ring stuff. Inside the ring, Bobby Fish has never done anything for me. What's up?
What
He
is
was
up,
always
Brian?
he was always the sort of weak link of all.
He's
of
always
them.
hurt.
He was the
Well, yeah.
he was the tag alonger.
Yeah,
he's
yeah, he's
so old.
But you know, he was the Larry Zabisco. So you didn't want
Yeah.
those
Even
guys.
more reason for me to absolutely hate Bobby Fish. God, I hate Larry Zabisco.
Don't hate on Larry now.
I hate him
You can't have no Larry
with a passion. I hate Larry Zabisco.
Sean Kidd would have your head if he was here.
I would. Could you name one person who has done so much with so little? Larry Zabisco.
That's something to be admired, is it not?
No,
Sure it is.
no.
Sure it is.
We
I
love
love Larry
him more for
Zabisco, the
hilarious
commentator.
purposes.
The L. That's it. That's all. New World Order.
New World Order.
A game of human chess.
He's like a combination of Kermit and Fozzie Bear.
Oh my god. Now
That's
I can
amazing.
just see. I just want to hear Larry Zabisco on commentary say waka waka waka.
Logan can make him say it. And Maddie can make him say it.
Waka
Yeah, I was
waka
like,
waka.
Matt does better, but
We got
Waka,
Andre
waka,
chasing
waka.
Kofi up on the top. Oh, they're about to try something crazy.
Oh Jesus, I think they are. I do love Chase U, but it's like Chance and Carter earlier. They are very NXT, and it would probably not exist well outside.
Right. I don't know.
the NXT.
I think Chase U could work.
I can see it working.
If SmackDown wasn't cool, like that is absolutely like a hide them on SmackDown kind of thing.
Yeah. So Chase's gimmick is basically he's a professor, like he's the professor of the university. He teaches his students all about wrestling history and such. But his gimmick is that he curses and they bleep it out.
He's Bobby
but,
Knight.
You know, he says mother. He says mother.
Oh, really?
They
Yeah,
bleep it out.
it's
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, it's great. That's why it's so unintentionally hilarious to me.
Yeah, to me, it's absolutely like a callback to like Bobby Knight and Hoosiers, like the color, the red, and him
Yeah,
being
the red and
so
everything.
animated and yelling at his players, quote unquote. I love his Garvin stomp that he does.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah,
Ooh,
yeah,
shit.
because so they have their own section in the NXT arena, It's called the Chase U section, obviously.
Yep.
But anytime he does this little stomp where he stomps all the limbs, like Tim's talking about, and they spell out Chase U, so it's like C stomp, H stomp. You know,
It's like,
so
give
it's
me
really
a
awesome.
C, and then he stomps,
Yeah.
and then they say C. Give me an H, and then they spell out Chase U, and he goes, "What does it spell?" And then everybody puts out the U's.
Yeah, the big
And,
U. Yeah.
That's cute.
It works for NXT.
Yeah.
Who doesn't remember Bobby Knight throwing a chair at a ref? I don't even
Even
think you
I
have to
know
be
that.
you don't even have to be a basketball person to know that. But
Yeah, that's even if you watched YouTube for a minute, you've seen like the greatest sports freakouts and all that kind of stuff. So
that's on par with Who Do You Think You Are? I Am.
yeah. Or the baseball coach that threw the rosin bag.
Oh
from
yeah, the Braves minor league coach.
Yeah.
Look at Duke Hudson getting beat up,
Big Australian bastard.
getting work.
Yeah, I think him being involved at Chase U really it reinvigorated him too, because he was kind of stumbling around with the poker player gimmick.
Oh yeah, like that was back when everybody in NXT, that was 2.0, where like everybody had their value prop. Like, they love poker and make a strong martini. And like, it's like they were all like dating game contestants where they all had
basically.
like 3 things they had to say. Back when Duke Hudson, who was Duke Hudson? Portia Pereira?
Oh yeah, Persia Parada, yeah.
Persia Pereira, yep.
Yeah, and they did like the goofy
I'm all out
couples
of
with
tea.
Index and him and Persia.
I miss Index.
I do too. She needs to go to the main roster too. She was one I didn't mention earlier. She's
Pick
They
a
can
gimmick
redo
out of
the
a
way.
hat time. It makes a lot of sense. Yeah, indie wrestling needs to join the way.
Yep.
They need to come back. Candice Wrestling,
they need
Johnny
to-
Wrestling, Indie Wrestling, and the Axeman.
the Axeman. I mean, they already have both of the Garganos on the Raw roster, and Dexter started to be with Gargano
Oh, no.
again. So, oh no,
Gallus Bomb. God, those Gallus boys are big and
Meaty.
big meaty men slapping meat.
Heavy and
we're not even talking about Wolfgang.
a little bit.
I know.
he might need to slap something. He's feeling a little bulgy
How is
there.
How is he on the Finn Balor scale?
Oh God, he might be over the scale.
I
honestly.
was gonna say, like,
I don't know,
maybe
man.
too much.
I never like.
He's like prime Matt Striker right now.
He is he's striker levels right now. Oh yeah, Andre Chase, get after it, boy.
Kind of Mr. Perfect style too.
Here we go. This is the stomps we were talking about.
Oh, here we go.
Okay.
There you go.
That's cute. I like it.
Yeah, and he's not bad in the ring either. Him and Regal's kid had a really good match like a few months ago.
Charlie Dempsey, yeah.
Charlie Dempsey, yes.
Yep. Andre Chase, like I was saying before, I loved him. Like he's been wrestling a long time. Him and his brother were the Bravado brothers.
Oh, okay.
Harlem and Lancelot Bravado. And I think his other brother is, I think, out of the business. But yeah, man.
Ooh. Yikes. That senton hurt.
Gallus almost walking away with it.
That was their finisher too. I can't believe they let Chase kick out of that. That's awesome.
Oh, Kofi was absolutely going to jump off Andre.
I think he's starting to learn he's too old to do some of that shit anymore.
He got to put
How
that
old
lucky.
is he?
Oh, how old is Kofi Johnson Kingston?
He's not super old, I don't think, but he's
It's
just
hard to
been at
tell.
it a while.
Kofi Kingston is 41.
Okay.
But
I would never guess that. You could
but-
tell me 31, and I would believe
black
you.
don't crack. All right.
Well,
But also, he has been with WWE since 2006.
that, yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, I mean, when he debuted, Mike Adamle was calling ECW.
the Adamle originals. Limit break elbow captured. Gallus finisher.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
There it is.
Wow. There we go.
Wow.
That was a fun match.
But both tag titles change hands. There we go.
Making changes.
And I always like the tag team. They have Joe Coffey that's with them too, and I've always kind of been down on him. I think he kind of sucks, but the tag team's always been good to me. Yeah, I'm not.
Mark Coffey is absolutely the better coffee.
He's just well.
Yes.
I'll just put it this way.
I don't like coffee.
Joe Coffey
making me make coffee jokes.
Who doesn't
Joe Coffey
like
was
coffee?
I don't like coffee.
I don't either.
What the hell is wrong with y'all?
Joe Coffey was always pushed as like the ace, one of the aces in NXT UK, and he wasn't as good as the other guys that were considered in that era or that area. I mean, so I'm not a big fan.
So instant thought on that match, Logan?
Do what?
Instant recap or thought on that match.
I'm surprised they went with
NXT
the title
standpoint.
change.
Yeah,
I'm surprised they went with the title change, but I support it.
So you think now maybe New Day's done here? This is it, or do you think they hang?
They may have a rematch still, but I can see them going back. I would like to see them around for a little bit longer. I think it's really reinvigorated them, like I said, because the last few months I feel like on SmackDown they've just kind of, I don't know, I wasn't as into them as I have been in the past. So, and they had a really good match against Pretty Deadly at the last PLE. So, I'd like to see them keep producing some bangers on NXT TV and such.
So I think Andy makes a good point here, saying like he thought Chase U was going to take the pin. So does that New Day taking the pin enforce more that maybe they are the ones that are done? That they would be done, because to Andy's point, maybe they wouldn't have taken the pin if they were sticking around.
Yeah, that's true. I could see that for sure. Yeah, that's probably correct. Andy's probably spot on with that one.
What I'd like to a New Day, I think puts them up there, we're talking about the greatest tag teams of all time, etc., is that they never broke up. They've gone their own ways, they've done their own thing, but it's never been a heel turn or a split up. And like that's what I've always wanted from one of these groups and teams. Like it doesn't always have to be the partners break up and fight. Like when you have a team as legendary as New Day, to me, like a split and feud it's not going to do it for me. Like a Kofi Big E feud is going to be like just depressing, like more than like, oh my God, like these guys are going to fight. Like I don't want to see them ever break up. Like to me, they should always they don't have to be a team, but they should always be on the same side.
Yeah. And it's hard to see any of them as like monster heels or, like with Big E or, anything like that, because they're so loved by the crowd and they sell a ton of merchandise and stuff like that. So
yeah, let's just leave them alone.
It wouldn't be natural for sure. And they all love each other. They're, they have their own podcast, or they did have their own podcast. I think it's gone now, but you could tell that they love each other and they're really genuinely best friends and all that. And so
wouldn't it be fun to heel it up though?
No, not for them.
Why not?
They did. I mean, they were heels originally.
Yeah,
they were
heels
originally.
They went back to that. It was fun.
I don't know if they can. I don't know who they would even. Sammy, you could turn them on. Other than that, I don't know how.
The new bloodline.
They're not going to get over as heels. I don't think with anyone unless you have like something like that,
No. Plus,
sounds like y'all are pigeonholing the New Day, and y'all don't believe that they can do anything other than what they've done.
I just think they're
so
so
great
over.
at what they do.
I know, but
I think
Do
they're
wrestlers
evergreen.
want to stay in their gimmicks, or do they want to grow?
So who are they spotlighting someone in this car here? Is that what it was?
So what they were going over was the attack on Nikita Lyons that put her down with the ACL.
Yeah, that this was from last week's episode. They kind of spotlighted that certain people were in the parking lot because the parking lot at NXT is the most dangerous place.
Yes,
in the
yes,
world.
It is.
So, but they kind of spotlighted that certain people were in certain vantage points to where the injury happened. So it's going to be like a whole investigation kind of thing. this
Rikishi,
season.
maybe Rikishi at the end of this.
Yeah, yeah. They do a close up of Wendy Chu, and she's just kind of chilling in her car, drinking her from her little tumbler cup. So, but I mean, Zoe's the person she's been feuding with, so it's supposed to be her, I guess. But I guess they're gonna use that to kind of create somebody, a new character going
Because
forward.
the last time NXT did this, wasn't it the attack on Aleister Black?
I think they've done a
that's
few
what
of these.
Ended up being
Yeah,
Johnny.
there's been a bunch of these. Johnny for sure.
Yeah.
Yep, that's when Johnny turned. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think of the NXT Confidential? Or
They stole our gimmick.
Oh, the anonymous thing.
NXT
yeah.
Anonymous. Yeah.
I think it's cool. I hope it leads somewhere. It's not like GTV was back in the day and just doesn't kind of go anywhere. But I hope it goes somewhere for sure.
It feels too much like scripts to me.
Yeah, that was my problem. I would have spaced out those two because it was kind of very, very similar for sure. Yeah, and script sucks.
GTV got screwed by Goldust leaving, right? Because that was supposed to be him
Yeah.
originally.
That's right.
It was GDTV. They changed it to GTV, and then nothing.
Yeah, scripts blows. Not a fan.
I feel like it's long for a takeover. I mean, we're going to be close to 3 hours probably.
Yeah, especially for these new era ones for sure.
Well, I feel like the main's probably not going to be that long. I feel like doesn't bronze matches not go like super long?
Yeah, he'll probably go 15 minutes. I'd say.
I don't think this will go long either.
Yeah, something tells me this one's not gonna last forever.
You think? I mean, this seems like a pretty Roxanne.
Yeah, Roxanne's taking this one.
Easy one, especially with the 2 title changes already.
Yeah, and I think that, they've been teasing dissension with the Toxic Girls, so something will happen about midway through the match, and they'll kind of start turning on each other. But
it sucks for them. I'm not gonna say they don't have potential on their own, but
no, yeah,
the gravy
Miss
train.
Mandy.
The gravy train got knocked off course with them pretty quick.
Bless her.
Mm-hmm. And the problem is if you keep them together, they need to go to the main roster because they're kind of over to the point where they're not like they don't really need to be down in NXT, but they really need that leader. So I'm hoping they'll pair him with somebody that can, elevate him kind of like Mandy was.
Right.
Yeah, we had mentioned it earlier in the live stream, but on the main roster, they do have the connection with Sonya Deville for the point where Sonya came up to NXT for a hot minute, and was kind of filling in with when Mandy was away for a couple of weeks.
Yep.
Yep. And I was telling Tim, Cole made like a Fire and Desire quote last night, so that could be a wink wink.
They're missing out by not having Sonya Deville's song be a ripoff of Cruella Deville. Especially at the heel run.
True.
So,
And the black and white theme.
I was saying, and she always wears black and white.
Yeah.
So
She looks good.
Sonya Deville.
So-
It must be a copyright issue. Maybe if Disney buys them, they'll integrate it.
Right? Crossovers everywhere.
There you go. She really is a heel. Sonya.
That's a Grinch, I think.
Sonya.
Is Tiffany a heel or baby?
Heel.
Tiffany Stratton is a heel.
Yeah.
Big time.
What if we put her with Toxic?
I don't
Nobody
know.
lives up to Mandy.
I don't know if Tiffany's ready to lead a faction.
lead a faction. Yeah, I wondered
no.
that too.
Yeah, because I almost think that like they have more seniority on her, so they would be like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't think it would work.
that makes sense.
Yeah, I think what Trent says here too. I had seen that Chelsea Green is maybe going to be the original leader.
Oh, okay, yes, on
But
board.
Looks like she's
Chelsea
Karen
would be
instead.
amazing in that.
Yeah.
I mean, they could bring them up under her on the main roster eventually.
Yes.
Yeah. I'd support that.
Oh, I need that now.
And let them wrestle more so she doesn't get hurt.
As long as they keep the toxic music, I'm good.
Yeah.
Banger. Absolute banger.
Sonya Deville.
As long as I get to see my dear sweet Gigi every week, I don't care.
That's all we care about.
Dead ass.
Respectfully.
Yes, respectfully. Sorry.
Make sure you say that.
So this is triple threat, right? Not handicap.
Yep, triple
Yeah,
threat.
it's triple threat.
Still having them come out together.
Yep, I mean,
They're still
give the illusion of them being unified leading in.
Mm-hmm.
It's an illusion.
It is an illusion.
Yeah. Andy makes a good point. I don't think Tiffany's character would like share the spotlight with these two girls. So like, I think that's a really good point.
No, I mean Tiffany's good.
No, go ahead, Tim. Yeah.
I think Tiffany is a different type of toxic attraction than before.
Yeah, I know. I was sighing because of Mandy. It was so perfect. The three of them she was the perfect leader of it.
My only fear, or not fear, but my only like hesitation with like putting them with Chelsea is, to me, Chelsea and Gigi are almost the same girl, kind of. Like they play they play a very similar type of role as a like in a toxic attraction. Like I think that Gigi is like replacement. I see Chelsea as more of a Gigi and less of a Mandy.
Right. Mandy would be like Maurice used to be, right? Kind of more like that, even.
Yeah.
Maurice, as Michael Cole would say.
Maurice.
Maurice.
But then again, like you have to get somebody who's like, and it's not to be super vain, but that Mandy Rose character has to be somebody who is universally heralded as an all-time hot girl.
Right. And that's not afraid to be that hot girl.
Right. Like, and I don't see Chelsea as that. Like, not saying she's not attractive. That's not what I'm saying. It's more of, I see her as more like the Gigi version, more in Gigi vein.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, like you almost can't replace Mandy, but it's you have to kind of. I don't know.
You got to move on, or you bring her back.
Yeah,
I think she comes back.
She'll be back eventually. Yeah.
Unless she left on bad terms or anything.
I think WWE finds a way to incorporate her new money-making venture in her contract, and maybe she makes a little, like, I don't know, she makes a little less, or you incorporate it in, but like, I think there's still a lot of gray area in like why she was released. Like,
well, the question too is like, would that even played on the main roster? I don't know. Sometimes all these things seem like they would hit, but then they get up there and they don't feel as big on the main roster. Like, she just felt like so grandiose and like center of attention in NXT that makes you wonder, like, you get the main roster and yes, the women get more time, but it's still not enough. Not like they do in NXT with the focus and the time investment. So you wonder if it would be kind of washed over like others have in the past.
Well, that's always my fear.
Yeah.
And I think that's a fair assessment. Back before, NXT very much felt like it was its own animal. And then there was a big fear when they would come into the main roster because Triple H the quote was Triple H knew how to use these guys, and then they would go. Triple H would get him over, and then go to Vince, and then Vince wouldn't know what to do with them, so then they just sit. Hence, Bearcat Keith Lee or whatever we had. Like, but now it's like Sean's driving the NXT train. So it's, I think that there's more similarity in what the NXT product is versus what the WWE product is now.
But I don't even mean like the presentation of the main roster, just like I don't know how to explain it. Just like the overall pacing, the arenas, it's bigger. Like a lot of stuff has been that worked in that tiny venue with that unique TV time that NXT allows. It's almost like Mandy got extra shine because she was so much more polished than most of the people on that show, which helped to stand out as well. So my only concern is that, like, okay, the main roster is so different in that, like, they're all different levels of polished and everything's bigger. There's less time to develop for stuff. Everything moves faster. So it's even less that, like, they wouldn't know what to do with her. I just mean overall, like, it's a weird assimilation because, like, you look at like Gargano, like he gets presented fine on the main roster. He's not buried. He's used okay, but he doesn't feel like that big man on campus like he did in NXT, right? He just feels like a guy on the roster. And that's not their fault. They're pushing him. Like he wins matches. He's pushed okay. Like, you know, he's fine, but it's just different. It's like going to high school to college in a way, or college to work, whatever it is. Like, you no longer, you know, everyone's you there, whereas in NXT there was more to shine.
That makes sense.
And that kind of goes back to the comparison that like Grooney made about it being like the NFL Combine. Like being a standout college player makes a lot of sense, but then when you get into the pros, you might have been like the number one ranked player in college, but a number one receiver in college versus a number one receiver in the pros, the DBs are insane in the pros. So it's like you could be really great in NXT, but you're going up against you're now in the ring with guys who have been in front of multi-thousand seat arenas for years and years and years and years and years, and they know the TV product.
Yeah.
And it's kind of night and day. Ryan, the timestamp is live. So hit the live button on Peacock and you're there.
It would be, to me, it would be all about the presentation. If they come in hot, they immediately present them as a top tier group, and like Mandy's going to automatically qualify for the belt, win the belt, all that kind of stuff. You know, they need to come in and be a force. They don't need to come in and just start losing and stuff like that. Like, they need to play up the group. Yeah, need to play up the group factor, and Mandy needs to be in that title picture immediately. And they need to keep doing the stuff they were doing in NXT. So it's all about presentation. Obviously, we'll never get to see that because, not now at least. But I think if Mandy had hung around, I think they would have to immediately present them as a big deal. And if they didn't do that, they would falter and kind of fall to the Mendoza line or whatever.
Yeah. I could easily see them, like a perfect time for Toxic Attraction to have made their call up would have been around Money in the Bank time. Like, you bring them in around a Money in the Bank, and whoever the leader of Toxic Attraction is, they win the contract. Yeah. And then you revolve that women's division around who is Toxic Attraction going to target to get the belt off of them. And the dissension already begins between the crimp hair twins.
The Stephanie McMahon old crimp hair dude that JC's got going on.
Yes.
Oh God.
Is that a Stephanie cosplay?
Maybe. You could pick.
Somebody should do that. Has anybody done a Stephanie homage in their gear?
Well, I mean, she created women's wrestling, so
everybody.
Yeah, but I mean, some of her classic looks. That's
I don't know. Not that I know of.
That's a good idea.
I know Roxanne goes for the like AJ Lee vibe with a lot of her outfits.
Yeah, same with her and Cora Jade before her.
Well, all the '90s looks are back, so you could definitely bring back some of that stuff.
Or Raven. Let's get a Raven cosplay.
Yeah.
Jean shorts,
Fuck
plaid,
yeah.
plaid button down, tied around.
Dirty
Raven made an
dreadlock.
Raven made an appearance on Impact the other night, by the way.
Did he really?
I
Yeah,
saw
yeah.
some sort of segment or something.
Yeah, Santino's like the GM now because DeMore got taken out. So he had some kind of backstage segment with Santino.
He's gonna come back as Johnny Polo just for 1 week for me.
They should have done it at Raw 30.
I was watching old Superstars from like '93, and it's like one of those ones that you know it, but it's so different. Raven and Johnny Polo. It's like so startling when you see it, and it's like a year apart. You know what I mean? It's not even like, oh, he did this later in his career. It's like he literally, like I think his Johnny Polo was late as like July '94, August '94 on TV, and Raven debuts in January of '95.
Right.
So it's literally like 4 months later he's on ECW as this crazy suicidal character.
Yeah, you got to think what Vince like thought when they brought him in, because like obviously he wrestled before that as Scotty Flamingo in WCW, so like he immediately thought, "Oh, this guy's a manager." Here we go.
But wasn't there also like wasn't Raven a part of like WWE Creative when he was in?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, I think he was
like that's kind of crazy to me to think too. Like
he's always had a great mind. Yeah, I mean,
right.
Yeah. And I mean that's
No, go ahead.
Go, Jenny. No.
Grudy said, "Y'all read my New Day theory."
No.
The long and the short of it is, if Big E's healthy, it makes sense. But until then, I'm calling Big E out.
Yeah. Well, it's almost a year, right? So I mean, if it's gonna, we think we could be there if it's gonna happen.
Yeah. I'm encouraged by the fact that Big E has been doing press tours lately, and he had a new shirt.
Yeah.
On the Australia tour that I caught because I'm a huge Big E mark. Like, I love Big E, and if he comes back, I'll be super happy, and I will rip this Cody Rhodes shirt off immediately
on
and
air.
like buy all of the Big E merch that I possibly can find.
Yeah, the adrenaline will leave your soul, and you'll feel the power. Is what you're saying.
Burn all your
Cody
Cody
Rhodes.
shit.
I have 3 open action figures on my desk. 1 is Roman Reigns, 2 is Cody Rhodes, and 3 is Big E.
Nice.
That's all I need.
What a mark.
That's my holy trinity right now.
Listen, back to Raven for 1 second. If he was
sure
booking during that time period, that is like one of the best stretches of creative that.
You're muted. We lost you.
Yeah, you muted yourself.
We lost you.
What'd you do?
So he gets for being mean to me and want to go back to Raven.
I think he unplugged himself.
No, I'm here. I hit mute.
There we go.
Oh, there you go.
That's like one of the best time periods of booking in that era. Is that when he's around? Is that late '93 to early '94? They have a lot of good stuff during that stretch.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
if it was, Trent brings up this. I was going to mention too this story. The legend is that Shane McMahon was partying with Raven, and that's why Vince turned on him and kind of booted him out. It was still Johnny Polo at that time, but he's almost.
Who does he care who parties with Shane? Doesn't everybody party with Shane?
Well, I mean, at that point, Shane would have been like, what, 18, 17, 18?
Yeah,
you know, like he was a kid still, or 19 maybe, and he didn't want him probably out doing whatever the frig Scott Levy was doing during that time. But my favorite story would be, if also true, when they rehired him and Vince saw him in a meeting in like 2000.
Shane was 23 then.
That's still young.
Yeah, that's no.
If you hear
you're old enough to know better to hang out with Raven.
Yeah, but if you hear that, no, I don't think anyone's old to hang out with Raven. But the story of 2000 where Vince saw him in a meeting goes, "Who the fuck hired Raven?"
Yes.
I hope it's true because it's like one of my favorite all-time Vince stories.
He's probably embarrassed that his son was hanging out with Johnny Polo and not main eventers. He was like, "Why is he hanging out with a manager? Who gives a shit about that?"
He's got one little foot.
He's got gout.
I bet
So
he
much
sneezes.
gout.
Oh, here comes
Oh.
Pop Rocks. Oh no.
I'd say this definitely got more time than I thought it was gonna.
Yeah, it is long.
They're giving him time.
Yeah. I can respect it.
Ouch. I will say Pop Rocks is like the coolest finisher name ever.
You for sure.
Yeah. For her, at least, yeah.
Another draft topic. Finisher names.
Ooh, I like that.
Just the names. We're not drafting
Not
moves.
the
We're
move,
drafting names.
just the names. I like it.
Yup.
Rear view. It's gonna be up there.
There you go.
Rear
That's
view
a
for
good
sure. No more saying picks.
He hates it when we do that.
These
You can't say
group
anything
chats
ever.
kill me.
Everything could be a fucking draft. You can't say anything ever.
No, you can't. Can't say picks. You know, Roxanne's done a very good job of fighting off both of them while like neutralizing their time when they've tried to do tandem stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oof.
Yeah, I thought
I was gonna
early
say
in the
that.
match she did a really good job.
Stiff.
Oh,
Jesus.
Can we never do headbutts again?
Yeah, not like that.
They almost just pulled the double pin off.
I know, right? That's what I was thinking when this match started. I was very much getting a Undertaker Kane Stone Cold vibe.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, who's the leader of Toxic Attraction? We are. And that's it.
We're them.
We are she.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. They're pulling the Dudleys. They're getting the tables.
She who sets it gets it.
Logan, where do you have this women's division currently in NXT ranked to like some of the past ones? Have they kept the torch going okay, or do you feel like they're lacking a bit?
I think they definitely have, like, this roster right now has a ton of potential. You know, obviously the horsewomen days are probably the peak. And, you know, that class that, you know, Baszler was with is up there as well.
Yeah.
I won't say it's high up there, but I think going forward, they have a ton of potential. Like we've talked about Stratton, a lot. I think she has a ton of potential. We talked about Soul. I think if they, you know, build her at the correct pace, I think she could be a star as well. You know, they're getting a lot more athletes now, like with the whole NIL thing. So I think it helps that a lot of these girls have a lot of athletic prowess coming into it.
Right.
So if they can get the like wrestling parts of it and like the character and promo stuff, they can kind of probably put a lot together. But there's definitely a ton of potential, but it's probably on the lower tier, I'd guess.
Yeah, that Shayna run is like overlooked. When Marcus and I did that
Yeah.
season on War, the 18-19 NXT, yeah, just everything was great with her. Like she just MVP level year that you never hear about.
So badass.
Trent asked if Lash Legend has improved. No, but she did change her gear recently, so maybe that'll reinvigorate her abilities as well. So
GG through the table.
Oh, there we go.
The old Lasher.
Oh, are we gonna get a Avalanche Pop Rocks?
Yes, indeed.
Oh God, there we go. Good finish.
Oh yeah. One thing I think that hurts the NXT women's division is historically, if you look since like the beginning with the horsewomen, there was always somebody from the old guard who stuck behind.
Like Natty.
So like, well, even fair, like Natty at first was the person to bring up that horsewomen group. And then when Becky, Charlotte, and Sasha leave, it's Bayley holding the bag. And Bayley is that incumbent to be there when we get our Asukas and that next batch. And then after that, after Asuka and everybody else leaves, it's Shayna that's still there holding on. and at some point we kind of lose the one incumbent from the previous generation to act as the bridge.
Well, if that was supposed to be Mandy,
But Mandy was Mandy was
Well,
really
she
never
came back
NXT.
down.
No, but I'll say that's
Yeah.
why maybe they brought her down, was to like be that kind of not veteran, but yeah, I mean someone who's been around to help bridge the next group.
Yeah.
Maybe yes. I think it might have been more for her as like a rehabilitation thing,
Yeah.
as opposed to like having the over NXT star who's there to like bring up the new class.
Mm-hmm.
Like this and the 2.0 group was very much okay, it's all you guys by yourself, kind of figure it out and make it work.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, Mandy kind of came in at a perfect time because they needed that star to kind of, ascend to that title position. Because they didn't, it was a lot of fresh faces and stuff like that. But so the timing was perfect for both ends, and they all killed it. So. But yeah, I think Roxanne was always the next person. I think she was going to beat Mandy for it, regardless of whether.
Yeah, Sean kind of said
Everything
that. Then in
happened.
the press conference, he said like it just got sped up a couple weeks, basically.
Yeah.
Like,
Once
they
they
were-
heard everything, they were like, "Okay, we'll do it now," and it would make sense because she won the Iron Survivor, and she got attacked that night, so she was like, "All right, I don't want to wait until New Year's Eve. I want my shot now." So
Right, yeah. So I think it was going to happen there anyway.
yeah,
All right, so what's the call to main event officially? What's your
I think
prediction?
Waller takes it. Waller's gonna walk away with it.
What do you think, Tim?
Grayson Waller, baby.
How about everyone in the chat watching here? What do you guys got? Throw it in the chat. What's your prediction? Let's see. Is it Waller's night, or do we just Braun keep it till Stand and Deliver? I mean, he's had it since what? He won it. When did he beat Dolph back? It was right after Stand and Deliver last year, right?
The Raw after Mania.
Oh, right. Yeah. So,
Mm-hmm. Trent's
we got-
going
'cause they-
Braun, Grooney's going Braun, Andy's going Waller.
Yeah, as if you listen to Who's Next, me and Andy are huge on Waller. I always have been. I mean, even listen back to the old, previews for the NXT shows that Ryan used to do. I've been on him since the beginning of 2.0. He's a star for sure.
why don't you plug that show before the main event, Logan?
Who's Next is on Place to Be Nation Wrestling feed. Me and Andy Atherton talk about the week to week. We usually cover 4 episodes. We kind of catch up on the month that just happened. So we just had an episode come out about a week ago. So we did the 4, or I think we actually did the 5 shows before this most recent week. So, but yeah, we have a ton of fun with that. But yeah, we're huge on Carmelo and Grayson.
Yeah, we get a couple. We get that. Then we have PTB NXT, which is a classic NXT show.
Yeah, that's true.
Also BTB Wrestling. And then on Clotheslines and Headlines here on the North-South Connection, that's every other Friday. Ryan and the crew, they touch on NXT as well quite a bit as part of their. So we have a lot of NXT coverage for sure with some different voices, which is cool.
Yep.
So Riddle says they do the both men hit the floor and set up one more match at Stand and Deliver. Waller wins there. And Grooney wants to know, does Braun go to the main roster after this route to main? I think so. I think this is it either way. He's losing here or Stand and Deliver, and then he's gone.
Yeah. See, I'm thinking like a spear through the cage kind of thing, and Waller just happens to like roll down the cage kind of deal.
Right.
And his feet hit first or whatever. Kind of like the old Bobby Lashley that ECW thing that they did that one time.
Yeah, and I mean, Andy's with you. It seems like Logan, Mello, Waller, Stand and Deliver. And we said it, right? It's going to be how definitive. If Waller wins here and it's definitive, then Braun, he might be off till the night after Mania, right? Or maybe gets a rematch on TV.
Mm-hmm.
If it's like you're saying, where it could be like, some chicanery or some nonsense, then yeah, Braun gets a rematch at Stand and Deliver, loses there.
Yeah.
If Waller loses here, he's then you probably think of Braun Mello, right? I mean, they're not going to have
Yeah.
Waller probably get a rematch.
Nah, if they have Waller lose, it needs to be kind of definitive, and I think it would obviously be Breaker Mello for sure.
Right.
But I mean, Waller has been. I mean, I'm a bigger fan of this than a lot of people are. But Waller's been so good in this stuff. He's just been killing it. So I can't imagine not giving it to him here. And like with the whole Trick and Mello thing, I think eventually Mello kind of splits from Trick, or maybe Trick turns on him or something like that. I don't know how they would have that happen, but he might be more of the face kind of guy to go up against the heel and Waller. So they might be like the next two aces of NXT going forward for the next year or so.
Yeah, and it's not like this is like a random throwaway show. I mean, it's a standalone show on the road. They put a lot of hype into it. So it's like Waller would be winning on just like a whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, like if he won at New Year's Evil, it would have been. Even me and Andy on that show, like we kind of predicted that it would be more than a one match kind of scenario,
right?
Whether Braun won because of some kind of chicanery, kind of like he did, or if it ended in a DQ or something somehow. Because what happened in the previous match, if nobody's watched, they just showed it. The rope broke and Grayson kind of fell out, hit his head, so he was kind of knocked out for the 10 count. So he lost by count out. But the whole cage. That's why they have the cage. Yeah, and the whole thing has been Grayson's just outsmarting him. He used the old Goldberg Bret Hart plate and the vest thing, so. He's been outsmarting him and kind of frustrating him. So, Waller thinks if he can get him pissed off, that he can make him vulnerable and make a mistake. So,
you don't think the fact though that it looks like based on video package, Waller's got a lot over on him. You don't think that forebodes a Braun win?
I mean, it could for sure, but I don't know. I just feel like Waller's the move. I don't know. I might be too much of a super fan, but
no, I mean the chat seems pretty split on it.
Yeah, I just think Braun can go on to bigger and better things. I guess I don't know. I think it's time. Like they can do the rematch and all, but I think Braun needs to go on up to the main roster.
Yeah, I would say if Waller wins tonight, you get the rematch in a couple of months in LA, and then Braun the next night.
Yeah. Oh, he's got the Steiner chainmail on.
You think under 15 for this?
Yeah, it'll probably go 14, 15 minutes. Yeah.
Rooney thinks Breaker is going to come right up and beat Theory for the U.S. title. Although I saw the rumor Cena Theory at Mania now, right?
Yeah, I've heard that a lot. So yeah, I think Braun's going to come up and be the guy that eventually beats Gunther for the IC belt. Because they've had a match. They had a match in NXT before Gunther went full on to the main roster.
Right.
So when he won the Iron Survivor Challenge, he took he calls it the shoey. He drank champagne or beer or something out of a shoe. So that's the whole thing with the shoe. Why he has that bringing out to the ring. That's the golden shoey that he's going to take after he wins the belt.
So it's basically working a Mr. Beast gimmick.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, he's all about views and going viral and stuff like that. So.
No, very modern gimmick for sure. Ryan's you're not allowed to say draft picks. You're going to give Tim a hemorrhage.
He just gave you the eyes.
Grooney's asked if that's Medeja.
I don't think so.
I mean, if it is, God bless her. She's looking great. Great 20
yeah,
years.
Really.
20 years later.
Ryan's right, though. Waller's theme is a bop for sure.
I think Deja's kind of lost to time. She never really did much else. Huh? I think she went with Steiner to like that WWA or whatever stuff he did.
Yeah,
but
that's right.
She never like hung around or anything else after that, really.
Yeah. She just had it. She was done.
Gorgeous George as well.
Yep.
All
She
the
made
women
that
of-
one. Good.
No, I know you had to go ahead.
No, she made that one rando appearance on the first ever episode of Highway to the Impact Zone when we watched that weekly pay-per-view, and she comes out at the end and like never appears again.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say she also made a very infamous whole movie.
Oh no.
I feel that was one of the first. That was an early one. That was
Yeah.
I mean,
we got Tim's attention.
that was up there. I remember downloading that fucker before I even had broadband. I think that'd be what, like, I feel like that was like 2001, 2. That thing leaked out. That's pretty early on.
Mm-hmm. Yep, definitely in the early stages of the leaks.
Mm. Yeah, that was like a whoa. Grooney thinks, is that Medeja Grooney or Gorgeous George is at WrestleCon? I'm guessing Gorgeous George. Here we go.
Starting on the outside.
Yep.
Is this a new look for Braun too?
No, I mean it's just it's a different singlet, yeah, I guess.
Right.
But it's pretty much on brand. He pretty much copies his dad for the most part.
Very Steiner Brothers, yeah.
Very Steinerish. Yeah.
Pretty cool too that they're on the road, but they're also running like a big arena for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
I mean, this is the old Bobcats arena.
Yep.
20,000. Yeah.
The Hornets don't play here.
They had all the Hornets stuff in the back when he was walking through it. Now.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, so it's a good sized building. I mean,
yeah, they had pretty much sold it out. I think as of a few days ago, it was like they did 5,000 seats, and I think they were up to like 4,900.
I mean, they've been on fire with their attendance and stuff lately, for sure. Like, consistently setting records.
Mm-hmm. And like we say, live wrestling's always better, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's always fun, no matter how great or bad or good the show is.
I know there's a Raw coming here, and I'm like, I'm torn on going. It's just the TV's so long, especially at 3 hours with all the commercials and stuff and like downtime.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'd be more probably attend to SmackDown,
right?
Because it's a little shorter.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see.
Oh my God.
What do you guys think of Vic Joseph? I think he's pretty good.
No, Vic's really good. I'm not huge on Booker though. I kind of wish he would go away.
I'm not the biggest Booker guy either. I like Vic. I wish Vic would have been main rostered.
Mm-hmm.
I think, as odd as it sounds, I think it may benefit the NXT guys if Michael Cole came down.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not gonna do that. But
yeah. Well, Michael Cole right now, like at least from what I remember when they did the split teams, Cole's trying to find his replacement right now.
Right.
That's why Vic's in NXT, and it was Jimmy Smith, and now it's Kevin Patrick, who I think Kevin Patrick's just on Raw until NXT Europe opens up.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Jimmy Smith wasn't bad.
Yeah, I didn't think Jimmy Smith was bad either.
Yeah, he just kind of lost he didn't want to do the travel anymore, I don't think. I think he was kind of over it. But no, Vic's great, I think.
I'd say he lasted longer than Adnan Burke.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
3 weeks or whatever he lasted.
Well, Yeah, that was a disaster from the start though. He had no fucking clue what he was doing.
Who's the other baseball guy that is big into WWE? Robert Flores. I think they should have went after him.
Yeah.
But, you know, potato.
What's Joey Styles doing? Bring him back.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm cool.
What?
Narrating
good.
best of.
I'm good on
dare you.
Joey.
DVDs.
How dare you?
Let
I
the
thought Joey
memories
was good
alone.
in WWF. Joey was good in WWF though. In the
I think he
mid-2000s.
was.
Yeah, nice.
I
He's
just think
good.
I think Joey is definitely time capsuled though. Like I think Joey.
People said that about Tony.
How many years did Jerry Lawler fucking do that shit?
I know.
Well, there's a difference between Joey Styles doing play-by-play and Jerry Lawler screaming puppies into a microphone.
There sure is.
Styles is much better.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean without question. But also, you're asked. It's two separate jobs, too.
And yeah, Grooney Smith found out he was fired before he got tired. Like, didn't they say like Triple H did something about who's going to be at the pay-per-view and didn't mention him or something like that?
No,
Or something like that.
I think Triple H asked Jimmy Smith to give his notes to Cole.
Right, it was something like that. Yeah.
Because it was when they did the combined. It's when they started the combined pay-per-view teams. It's like, oh, that's really great. Can you give your notes to Cole? It's like, oh, I'm not at the pay-per-view. It's like, oh, actually, yeah, you're not in WWE.
You're out.
Yeah, you're fine. Sorry.
I wouldn't give my notes to fucking nobody. I'd burn my notes in the garbage can.
I would give him
I get it.
I would give him like every other page.
I would rewrite
Be real
all my
spi-
notes and make
be
them
real
wrong,
spiteful.
and then hand them over.
Ouch.
Anyway, I think Joey would be fine. How do you think things would have gone if Tony would have came back instead of going to AEW? Because he was close to coming back in like, was it 2019 or whatever he went to AEW? 2020. I mean, it probably wouldn't have went well. He probably would have been gone already. Is my
I was
guess.
gonna say, I think Tony's where he's supposed to be.
Yeah, I think he's
as much as
better.
I hate to say that.
I think Tony's really allowed to thrive where he is now.
Yes.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have worked
Whereas,
No.
whereas I think if he would have came to WWE, he would have been the nostalgia act.
well. I just think he would have
And
gotten
now-
frustrated and left. I mean, maybe now well, Vince is back, but whatever. In the non-Vince run, he might have been okay because I think they would have let him do a little bit more. But him with like Vince would have been a bad mix. I think he would have been.
Yeah. Yeah, I think now he would be okay, but I think
At the time, yeah.
At the time,
Right.
nah. Yeah, with Vince still in charge, I think he would have made him like the Southern guy that he didn't love, but brought in because he was a name.
Right. And I think Tony's value is more than just being on air too. Like I think he does so many other things that like they would not let him do in WWE that he used to do the year he was with the WWF, like working on Coliseum home video stuff. Like he's a production guy like me. Like sure you can do stuff like on camera on the mic, but like it takes a different set of eyes to like handle production stuff.
Well, AEW having him and Taz is like two of my all-time favorite announcers. Are both there right
They're
now.
a perfect team. Like they're so good together. I think the team they have now on Dynamite's really great. As Waller is now in pretty strong control right now over Braun.
That cage looks so small.
I was wondering why.
It's the camera angles. I think they're
Must be.
they're shooting it really close.
Yeah, so it's definitely looks more like a WCW ring.
It's not rickety enough for that.
True.
It's very sturdy looking.
The top rope's too tall.
That float over on Prettier was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
There you go. Grudy's fishing for a plug. Nation Invasion on the Placement Nation Wrestling feed, covering the Invasion era WWF.
Well done,
I'll be on
Gurney.
this. I'll be on the second episode of that. So
There you go.
coming soon.
Jenny, give me you heard about Pluto notes. What do you mean?
There are no notes for that.
Yeah, go to Pluto and pick something. There you go.
Yep.
There's your notes.
I make it very
make-
easy, so you don't have to do any notes in there.
It's Wednesdays, North-South Connection.
Thank
I
you.
love Pluto. I was watching Pluto last night for a while. I was watching 90210.
Yeah, we got that great future era David picture in the chat last night.
Yes.
Booker T's talking about Cholula Green.
Yeah, I heard that. Just trying to forget
Oh
it.
my god.
Man,
So that's
let
my
me tell you
thing.
something.
He just goes way off on tangents, and it's like, just call the match, man.
Gurney, you can't fire me, sir.
Oh shit!
What do you guys feel about pins and submissions in cage matches?
Yeah, that's the way it should be. No escape. It's the old school. I mean, I get the escape and why they did it, but
That knee was gross.
to me, pin
Yeah,
or
it
submission
was.
in the cage is better. Cage is meant to kind of keep people out.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I get the old school way of thinking. I mean, obviously, I'm a lot younger than most people in the nation. But I grew up on the escape being the main way of doing it, so that's just.
I mean,
it
I
is to
did
me,
too,
guess.
but yeah, going back and see
Yeah.
it, like, I don't know. I think it's why I'm not as high on Brett and Owen from SummerSlam as some
Yeah.
people because of that. Like, the whole match is literally just Owen trying to get out of the cage, which I get within the story. It's like he already beat Brett. He just wants to win the title, so he's just trying to get out of the cage. But there you go. Thanks, Steve.
There you go.
Riddle me this.
He literally has the exact opposite opinion of what you just said.
No, he agrees.
Oh, okay.
He said escape works best unless it's that match.
Oh,
He
okay.
agrees with me. That one's not as good because of it.
Gotcha.
There you go, Ryan. 375. Yeah, there you go. Everyone's on my side in there right now.
Yeah, I'm not as high on that match as a lot of people are.
And I've seen people throw fives at it.
Mm-hmm. Did Meltzer give it a 5?
I think he did. Yeah, I
Guess.
think that's a future.
I'd have to look back at what Marcus gave it for War. It was our first season we did.
Not to plug another
me
pod, but
pull
that's
it
a
up.
future Starflation episode.
Starflation, such a great a great exercise, I think.
Yeah.
There's so much to take in with the star ratings.
Mhm. Yeah, I love doing that pod.
There you go. Ryan believes that Marcus gave it a 6 and 3.
Marcus gave it a 4.5.
Yeah. What did I give it on there?
4.25.
Yeah,
It
Meltzer
had
gave
a
it a
war
5.
too.
Meltzer gave it a 5. Higher
Meltzer
than
gave it a
Mania
5.
10.
Yeah, he didn't
Which is
give
insane
he didn't
to
give
me.
Mania 10. Yeah. That's right.
I don't think it's even. I mean, I'm a 5 on Mania 10, I believe, and I'm 4.25 on SummerSlam. Feels right.
I think I'm 4.5 on the. I'm 4.5 at Mania and 4.
You're
on the
not a
cage.
5 on Mania?
No.
I do think Meltzer went 4 3/4 on Mania, but still, yeah, there's no way that's not 5.
Right.
I'm a 5 on
If
both.
if the other one's 5, that means
Yeah. If the cage is 5, then that match at Mania is a 5.
I'm still 5 at both Mania 10 matches. I think that's one I'll never really budge off of.
Yeah.
Although I do remember the fun of the arguments we had after WrestleMania 30. Is Daniel Bryan and Triple H better than Brett and Owen as a WrestleMania opener? That was a hot debate for a couple years there.
It's close, but I think I'd still go Brett Owen.
I think I'd go Daniel Bryan and Triple H.
We did a project like a couple years later, I remember, where it was like one of the best Mania, this, that. It was like we did all different categories, and one was opener, and I think we had We might have put Bryan over it, I think, and it was like a big argument.
Yeah.
It's definitely close for sure. They're both great.
I mean,
You'd
Triple
have
H
to-
totally put on his working boots and like.
That's probably his last great match, right?
Oh yeah, sure.
I don't recall very much from the Roadblock match with Ambrose when he was champ.
Yeah, I just watched it. It was all right.
Yeah.
Not close to that.
Right.
I was gonna say, are y'all doing that on War? I didn't know if that would technically
Yeah, no, we're doing
qualify,
it.
but I figured.
Oh boy, here we go.
Uh-oh. We're gonna do
Finally.
What do you
Super
put that
Avalanche
tag match
Frankenstein.
at? Oh, big super duperplex.
Let's do it.
Which tag match?
Triple H Steph versus Ronda
Oh yeah, that's a great match.
Angle.
Ugh.
But is that great because of like the moments? Because
Yeah,
the
it's
match
great because
itself,
Ronda, you didn't expect it too out of
yeah,
her.
Ronda
Great 'cause
beating the
Steph.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
The straps are
No,
coming
that-
down.
oh.
No, they all brought it in that one for sure.
All right.
Yeah, they did.
No, that's Ronda's best performance, even if you don't like her. Like it's almost undeniable.
not.
It is.
That first run, I think, is getting underrated now because of this latest run from her. But
Right.
she had a lot
Keep
of really
telling
good stuff that
yourself
first
that.
one.
Nah, she was great in that first run. I think she just doesn't have the motivation, and she, I don't know if she's not as in shape as she was because of the kid and everything, but I don't know. What?
I think it's
gonna
passion.
gloss
I
over
think it's
that
a
one.
passion thing. I think
I'm
it's a
gonna let that
passion
go.
thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying that's a possibility. I'm not saying that.
She don't want people hating on her all the time. She can't handle it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. Also.
She's soft. That was a fun match.
Killed him. Yep.
All right, so that's the Waller's done then, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, it's pretty decisive.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Trent. Finally, a voice of reason.
Shocked, guys? There were a couple of Braun picks in the chat, but
Yeah. I mean, I get it, but I probably would have gone the other way, but
so thinking Braun, Braun Hayes at Mania.
yeah, 100%.
It could just be that they want Hayes and not Waller,
Yeah.
and figure him beating Breaker at Mania means more than like a 1 month or 2 month Waller reign.
Yeah, that's true.
I think we just lost connectivity on
I
Facebook.
saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all right. We'll wrap it up anyway. It was a really good show. I enjoyed from what I saw. I didn't see the opener. I can go back and rewatch that, but pretty much hit everything you were thinking, Logan, overall, or
No, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was a great show. I like I said, the main event went the other way, but I honestly okay with it. And I'm good with Hayes Breaker at Mania. That'll be a banger for sure. So, but yeah, the opener was great, and we got a couple of cool title changes. So, thought it was a great show.
match of the night for you, Jenny, of what you saw?
Yeah, I mean, I like a cage match, but I enjoyed the show.
There you go.
I enjoyed talking about the show, but it's just never going to be the same for me. Like we talked about, it's just not going to be the same NXT for me, and I'm trying to appreciate what this is now and not compare it as much to the black and gold.
All right, here's Hayes coming out. So yeah, that's the setup right there. You called it.
I'd probably go. My match of the night was probably the opener. I thought Dijak and West did some really
Yeah, I
good
didn't
stuff
see
in
that
that
one.
Yeah.
Tim, you think they ever go back? Or do you think this is the NXT to stay? Or do you think they ever go back to start filtering in some indie talent or other guys like these, super workers, right, that they brought in?
I think if we get anything, I think NXT becomes a third brand. And like, if they really end up doing another draft, incorporating NXT in a draft and like making it that way. I don't think that NXT the Super Indie is sustainable. over time, but having it be a third brand is. And even if you treat it the way that like they used to treat SmackDown, where like, you know, SmackDown and Raw, for every 3 picks they get, NXT gets 2.
Right.
Like, I get that. But I don't think them being a super indie is the thing. I don't think them being a developmental brand is the thing. I think it's all WWE. Make it so.
And he has a North American title match, the match of the night as well. All right. Listen, check out everything North South Connection has to offer. This was a lot of fun doing this live. We'll do this for other stuff as well, whether it's live watches of shows, post show stuff, whatever. But we have a lot of video content, a lot of audio content coming every day that we're super proud of and we're super engaged with. Hopefully you all feel the same and continue to support us. Tim, you want to take us home?
Absolutely. Be sure. NorthSouthConnection.com. It's your home for everything, whether it's our audio feed on Podbean, wherever you get your podcasts, or our YouTube channel that you're watching this on right now. We appreciate you guys spending the time sitting with us live. You could have been doing anything else in the world, but you decided to sit with us. Jenny, Logan, JT, thank you so much for the time, and we will see you back here on the Connection next time. Bye, everybody.